Let's get nasty on a Friday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 to ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. No Jamie Rivers today. Jamie's got the day off. He'll be back on Monday. Start off the show with Steven Matz news. Steven Matz to the IL. Kyle Leahy returns to the big leagues after serving as the Cardinals' 27th man on Tuesday. Bally Sports Midwest had released that news. So Steven Matz heads to the 15-day IL. Back strain, not a huge surprise after he underwent the MRI a couple of days ago, guys. But what's the best move for the Cardinals?
In terms of who fills that spot?
Who fills that spot? Is it a one-time through the rotation thing, and Steven Matz comes back and reclaims that spot? Do you give somebody like a Sam Roberson an opportunity?
I would think that
Robise.
Him.
Robitaille. Luke Robitaille.
Do you give Luke Robitaille an opportunity to come in and pitch? We haven't seen it.
You might move Matthew Liberatore back to that spot. He's been performing pretty well in his role in the bullpen. He is already stretched out. We know that that's an issue and a concern for Cardinal pitchers, starting pitchers, and the staff. We want to make sure guys are stretched out if they're going to be starters. I would assume you put Matthew Liberatore back in that role. It was Zach Thompson, but obviously he's down in AAA and wasn't performing well in his opportunity. So maybe you give Matthew Liberatore that opportunity to be in that role, which he was. That's what he was traded to be, if I'm not mistaken. So give him a shot.
I get where you're coming from. I've already seen
Not
that.
like my sarcasm? No, I'm just saying that's what you traded him for, right? That's why you traded for him, to be an ace.
The only reason why I'm
be
smirking.
a guy.
The only reason why I'm smirking is that there's really no
correct answer.
No correct answer, I guess.
I would like to see Sem.
This
guy's
Robertson.
He's 4-0.
Robertson.
1.77 ERA in 6 games, 35 and 2/3 innings pitched, 35 strikeouts, 0.95 WHIP. We keep talking. That's pretty good, Carey.
Okay.
We keep talking about the Cardinals needing to find that next guy to be in the rotation. This is that guy. Give him a shot.
So if that was the case, why wouldn't they bring him up? Why did they bring?
Because I don't believe
he's not on the 40-man?
I don't think he'd be available until early next week. So you probably want a bullpen arm to help you through this weekend, and then the move would come probably Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, because I believe he pitched yesterday. He gave up 1 run over 6 innings in AAA Memphis.
Not bad.
Like Marsh was saying, he read off some of the statistics to you. 1.77 ERA, 35-7 strikeout to walk ratio over the 35 and 2/3 innings, which would equal 6 starts for Sem Robertson.
We'll know when he gets here, if he gets here.
Robertson. So that kind of is the question, though. He is on the 40-man, so you're good there. He's on the 40-man roster.
Okay.
At this point, do Cardinal fans want to see him up? Absolutely. Why wouldn't you? And Steven Matz, I posed the question, saying, is this just a short-term thing with Steven Matz? Or when he comes back, do you usher him to the bullpen? Well, he's got a 6.18 ERA, a 4.73 FIP, a 5.03 expected FIP. And I know we don't love expected numbers. I get all that. But even if you go to his strikeout rate, through the first month of the season, Steven Matz's strikeout rate is the lowest of his career. His walk rate is the highest of his career. The only fairly decent thing he's doing is keeping the ball in the yard. That's it. So not a high strikeout guy, too many walks, ERA doesn't look good. Some of the other advanced metrics don't look good for Steven Matz.
By the way,
and he can't stay healthy.
I found out how to say his name.
How do you say it?
You go to a pronunciation guide. It's actually all the Cardinal players, they have their pronunciations, and they actually say their name. So we can actually hear him say it himself if you want to take a listen.
Oh, let's hear it.
Sem Robertson.
There you go.
Sem Robertson. Thank you.
We got it.
You know who's pretty good? You know who's been real good in the minors? Sem Robertson.
Robertson.
Yeah, Robertson just pitched pretty well yesterday for the Cardinals. in Memphis. Robertson.
I like that.
Robertson is the guy that you got at the deadline last year, trade deadline last year. Sam Robertson.
Was that for
I'm
Jack
trying
Flaherty,
to get this to
or
stick
which
here.
pitcher was that for? Where did he come from?
Sam Robertson?
Because JC came from one of those trades. I can't remember which one.
Oh, Takoa Roby is another guy. He came from the Rangers. Is that who you're thinking of?
That's the Montgomery deal.
That was Montgomery?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember where Robertson came from. Which trade was he a part of?
He may have been the Jack Flaherty trade.
I thought he was Jack Flaherty. I'm not sure.
Let's look this up real quick here.
Either way, great name, great pitcher. Come be great for St. Louis Cardinals.
They need to give him a shot.
So Drew Rahm was in the Jack Flaherty deal.
Okay.
So it might have been Jordan Montgomery.
Genesis Cabrera. Chris Stratton.
Hicks. He was for Hicks.
There you go. One of those guys. How many people left last year? He traded a lot.
You traded Jordan Hicks. You traded Genesis Cabrera was the first trade.
Mm-hmm.
So Cabrera, Jordan Hicks, Flaherty,
Stratton,
and then Jordan Montgomery and Stratton were in that same deal.
A lot of guys going different places. Well, we got guys back, so we need some people to. Well, can Robertson? Excuse me. Can he hit?
Sam Robertson.
Can he hit?
No, he's a pitcher.
Carey. Oh. So he
He's
can't
a
hit?
pitcher. No. Why don't you like let him do what he actually does? He's a pitcher.
I've been trying to get guys to do what they actually do all season, man. Haven't done it.
Hasn't worked. Again, Steven Matz, to me, he hasn't been reliable. He hasn't been good. There's flashes of him being pretty good. At what point do you move on? To me, it's now.
See, I don't think they will.
Not what the Cardinals will do. Just what would we do? Like, if you were in charge, what would you? If I was in charge, I would say, hey, we've seen enough. Let's move you to the pen. And if we can't squeeze anything out of you in the pen, at some point, we're going to have to go the DFA route. It just hasn't worked out. You've already spent the money. The money has been set. It is a sunk cost at this point. And you just acquired all of these arms last year. I'm not going to pretend to know who's Major League ready and who's not. Sam Robertson, from a number standpoint, looks like he's ready to have a cup of coffee at the big league level. If he's not ready, then you can go the Matthew Liberatore route. But if Matthew Liberatore does not look great as a starter, then I think it's perfectly okay to put him back in the pen and let him to continue to succeed there.
And I like Matthew Liberatore where he's at. He has like a defined role right now. Like, he's been fine. Other than throwing Harrison Bader an 0-2 pitch, a high fastball, for whatever reason, I don't know why, because that guy could never hit a slider away.
After the third inning, right? I mean, he had been in there for, I believe that was his third inning. One mistake. To your point, one mistake.
He's been fine.
Yeah.
Like, I like him in that role, and I think this team needs defined roles. And we saw what happened last year when you start moving guys from the bullpen to the starting rotation. It just things get a little wonky, and it's just not good. Give this guy an opportunity. Maybe he ends up being your next Michael Wacha. Who knows? But you won't find out unless you give him a chance.
Right.
I agree. I mean, you got to figure out what you're going to do with that spot. What I've witnessed, I think the Cardinals are going to go the safe route and probably move Matthew Liberatore back to that spot and give him another shot and see what because you really can't give up on Matthew Liberatore. Like, you cannot just write him off and say he's a bullpen arm and say that's the role he's going to be casted into for the rest of his career. That's not what you traded for him to be.
Yeah.
You traded for him to be a starter, 2, 3, maybe a 1 if he was capable of making that. I don't see a place, or I don't envision them just saying the hell with it. We're going to keep him in the bullpen for the rest of his career, and we're not going to give him another shot to be a starter. Just because, again, what you gave up was not for that role.
Yeah.
So.
Same thing with Steven Matz, so with Matthew Liberatore. At what point, not that you're giving up on Matthew Liberatore, but the idea of him not being a starter in the majors.
Right.
Like, I've seen this for 2 years.
This also goes to the point of, at some point, these guys have to step up when they're given the opportunity, too. It's, I realize that Jordan Hicks didn't get a long runway to be a starter here, but he did get an opportunity. When do you flash? Yeah.
Did he? Was he completely stretched out and ready to be in that role? Was he really given? Was it four games?
Define it for me. So is it 15 starts? Is that a full try? Is it 10 starts?
I would think it was. I believe 4 games, if I'm not mistaken. 4. I
think it was 8.
Was it 8?
I think he got 8 starts.
I don't know. Let me look. Let's look.
If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. I don't know. But who's to say that he would even be a good starter here in St. Louis?
Right.
Maybe he found something in San Francisco, much like all the other damn players that leave this organization and go find success.
No, it was 8. He started 8 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he flashed over those 8 games, and the Cardinals then said, nope, you're still a reliever to us, that'd be a little different. My point now moving forward is Matthew Liberatore, if he does get another shot to be in the starting rotation, or Sem Roberse has an opportunity to do so. At some point, the Cardinals are trying to strike lightning in a bottle here. They're trying to find that. So if one of these guys does step up, great. But Steven Matz, you can't keep going back to this guy expecting different results. He's been banged up throughout his 3 years, or two plus years now, in St. Louis. The only time he was really effective, he had a small stretch as a starter before getting hurt again a year ago, and he was somewhat effective in the pen last year.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's his role there.
Maybe it's his role there. We'll find out.
He was pretty good there.
He was. So again, Steven Matz to the 15-day IL, and Kyle Leahy will join the active roster, give the Cardinals some bullpen help. As of right now, it's going to be, over the weekend, it's going to be Lance Lynn starting for the Cardinals, followed by, I believe it is, let's see here, let's use tomorrow. No, Lance Lynn's tomorrow. Tonight, it's going to be
Sonny Gray, isn't it?
Sonny Gray, thank you. Sonny Gray, Lance Lynn, and then what do we say, Kyle Gibson for Sunday? Kyle Gibson's going to toe the rubber on Sunday, even though some sites have it TBD. It's likely to be Kyle Gibson.
Okay.
So there you have it. Is it sweep or bust for the Cardinals? Yep. Carey believes so. I'll tell you why. Next on 101 ESPN. Cardinals take on the White Sox this weekend. The White Sox are dead last in damn near every statistical category, almost everyone.
Not home runs,
Not
Anthony.
home runs. The Cardinals, the Cardinals have dead last, locked up right now when it comes to home runs. But yeah, this White Sox team, and we're not throwing stones because we'll get to the Cardinals, but this White Sox team is horrendous in. Again, damn near everything. I like WRC Plus. It's a great statistic when it comes to detailing how good you are at generating runs. White Sox are dead last. Home runs, like we talked about. Cardinals are dead last. White Sox are second to last, 29th, with only one more home run than the Cardinals. How about runs scored? White Sox, dead last. Runs batted in? White Sox, dead last. Stolen bases. Colorado dead last. White Sox are actually 20th.
So if they get on base, they're going to steal.
If they do something below average but not horrendous, it would be stolen bases. How about walk rate? 27th in baseball. Strikeout rate. They are 11th in terms of being worse. So it's the 11th highest in Major League Baseball. Some people still love batting average. Carey, I feel like you're somebody that appreciates a good batting average.
I do appreciate a good batting average.
As a team, the White Sox are hitting .212. That ranks 29th. On base percentage, dead last in baseball. Slugging, dead last in baseball. They're terrible. That we haven't even gotten to the pitching stats. The Cardinals, unfortunately, are in the bottom 5 of those same statistics. So it's not as if the Cardinals are much better from an offensive standpoint. But again, from a pitching standpoint, defense, pitching, bullpen, Cardinals are significantly better than the White Sox. So we posed the question, is it sweep or bust for the Cardinals this weekend? And Carey, you said flat out yes.
Well,
I got a follow-up question for you, but
I will.
Go ahead.
I don't know if it's sweep or bust, but you can't lose this series. You got to win. You got to win 2 of them, and the third, if you lose one of those games, it has to be competitive. Mm-hmm. You can't. It's almost like what we talked about with the Blues, right? How they lost to the Blackhawks, how they lost to the Sharks, how they lost to teams that were terrible, and that's essentially what kept them from being in the playoffs. You competed with the really good teams, but the teams that you should have beaten, like the San Jose Sharks, which is the worst team in the league, you lost 3 or 4 times. 3 times?
I think it was 3.
Oh, I thought it was more than that.
You didn't win 4. Any.
Either way.
Oh, maybe it was 4.
You lost every single time. So this is an opportunity facing a team that, as you just ran down the numbers, is one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be close. Now, conversely, I don't know that they necessarily have to win every game. I don't know that they have to sweep the series. But if you get swept, even if you lose the series, I would say if you lose 2 out of 3, we're load up the panic bus. Let's start driving around, picking up patrons, and make sure that we are all in one accord, getting ready because the city, the chaos, the anarchy that will come with that it's near.
I think it's a sweep or bust. A sweep gets you back to 500, and then we can, wipe our hands and be like, okay, now we can start the season here. This is a complete reset.
Yeah.
And let's forget about what happened in April. We're 500. Somehow, with all of these statistics that we're not good at, somehow we're still 500, which I think is astonishing if they get to that point. But yeah, I think they need it. This team is terrible. Like the White Sox, they're not good. Mm-hmm. Like you have to beat them.
Yeah.
If you want to prove something, if you want to prove to this city that you are a competitive ball club and that this is everything that happened in April is kind of, it's a little slow and the bats are heating up and it was just kind of a sham.
Yeah.
Sweep the series because you should.
So my question,
otherwise you're in the same conversation as the White Sox, and you should be.
And offensively, you are. Unfortunately, the White Sox are 6-25. By the way, we jumped into the offensive statistics. That's offensive. 6-25.
Not great.
Cardinals though 14-17. They're not. Again, you should be throwing stones right now, living in glass houses. But my question to you guys is this: let's say the White Sox take 2 of 3. Does this organization do anything?
No.
Exactly.
Oh, I disagree. I think if you go 2 of 3, if you lose 2 or 3, I think somebody's going to have to feel the brunt of that. I just think I don't know that you can. And I don't know that people deserve to lose their jobs when it's dependent upon other people to perform well.
Yeah.
But something, and even if it's not a firing, the lineup shifted, things have to change. You have to do something different, especially if it's offensively that isn't performing well. Like if the pitching just blows up and has, let's say Sonny Gray, who's been performing extremely well, goes out and has a terrible start tonight. I'm probably not going to panic about that because eventually you're going to have he's been outstanding, and you lose 7-5, whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay, you scored some runs. Your starting pitcher, who has been great all season up until this point, had a bad outing. You can wipe that away. But if the hitting, Sonny Gray goes out and deals and does what he's been doing all season, and you lose 2-1, 3-1, and you continue to, and that happens for the next 2 games after that, yeah, something different has to be done, because if not, what are you saying?
Listen, I agree with what you're saying. If you lose to the White Sox, you're coming off a bad April. Your prized youngster, one of them at least, Jordan Walker, was sent down to AAA. Mm-hmm. And then you head into May, fresh start, clean the slate, and you lose 2 of 3 again, let's say, to the worst team in baseball. You should do something. But I don't think that this organization views it that way. Not when your president of baseball operations is coming out and saying, we like where we're at right now. We're going to be patient. It's terrible. I'm with you. But
that makes me
how could you even say that? I know we talked about this multiple times. How can you even say that?
Well, I was listening, I was listening to the radio earlier, and I heard the Suns owner essentially say the same thing about.
I saw that too.
Where he was like, "Oh, we're great where we are." Mm-hmm. What? You didn't win a game, sir. You got swept. You stink, actually. Mm-hmm. So I think that there is a business mindset that you are always glass half full, as opposed to being pessimistic at any point, or even being realistic. I think some people are just, I'm always going to be affirmative. That way I attract more good things. And if I think negatively, then bad things will happen or come to me. So I'm just going to be positive in all things. Mm-hmm. It's, in theory, that's great. But when you're talking to fans and fans are paying their hard-earned money, and you got the Suns who got Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, and you don't win a game, the hell you think Suns fans are going to believe we're in a great position? Mm-hmm. Right. You got Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, and you got a team that is 4th in the division right now and finished dead last in the division last year, and you say, "Oh, we like where we are." Mm-hmm. What game are you watching? Yeah. It makes people feel uncomfortable because they don't believe it, and they don't believe you.
And it gives you zero hope.
Yes.
I mean, that's how I feel. Because you want change. Yeah. That's the whole point of this conversation, right?
If you like
want
it,
change.
you don't change it. If
Exactly.
you like where you are, you don't see a need to change anything. We're good. We're just working out well.
The only hope that you have of being a fan rooting for either a losing franchise or an organization that has been losing, and that fits the Cardinals. They are not a losing organization. They're not a losing franchise. The people that we know that have watched the Cardinals for the last X amount of decades have only seen winning clubs or clubs that have been in it, right? It's not a losing franchise, but it has been a loser over the last year plus. So the only hope you have as a fan, if you're watching a team that's been losing or is a losing club, is change. And if you don't, if the people that are in place to make those decisions are telling you, to Carey's point, we're good with where we're at, then that means there's no hope.
Yeah, how hard is it? And you outlined that very clearly. This team is not a losing franchise. It's a winning franchise. There should be a standard. How hard is it to say, hey, we like our roster, we like the guys that we put in place in 2024, but this is not acceptable. This is not the standard that we have set for this organization. They have to be better, and I think they will be. How hard? That's basically saying the same thing with also saying, you're not doing your job. You need to be better. And the fans are like, yeah, you know what? Yeah,
Right.
Mo's right. Like, they do need to be better. And I think some people look at the lineup, and I think there's something there where I'm like, man, this team is not the best team in Major League Baseball. Don't get me wrong, and the record's definitely showing that. But they have a lot more to give. And I think a lot of people, this is just my opinion, at least this is how I think. I think this team is better than what they are right now on paper. Ooh. They have a lot more to give, but they're just not doing it. So why can't you call that out and set a standard? Because that's what these fans are used to seeing.
Even if it's lip service at first, it's better than saying we like where we are. I actually want to talk about that next. So you sparked something here. And I'd be interested to know where listeners are in this. Marsh, you had said they're better than what they are. So is this team underachieving right now? Mm-hmm. Do you, as a Cardinals fan, based on your expectations at the start of the season, do you feel as though the club is underachieving? There should be more. Leave us a mic drop. I'm really interested in your thoughts on that. Marsh, you lean that way. I'm going to give us some thought. Carey's going to give us some thought. We'll come back and answer that question next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update. Driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals are back in action tonight, taking on the Chicago White Sox. Sonny Gray on the mound, going up against Brad Keller. Sonny Gray is 3-1 with a 1.16 ERA, 32 strikeouts on the year. Keller is 0-0 with a 0.00 ERA and 1 strikeout. We are taking your mic drops all day long. This next segment we're going to dive into is have the Cardinals underachieved? Let us know. Send us a text at the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. We'll dive into those coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, what a stupid Captain Obvious question. Yes!
All right, there you go. That was Daniel, who did not like our question at all. Well, okay.
Daniel?
I appreciate you, Daniel. Thank you. Thank you for listening. The reason why I might not be, well, it's a Captain Obvious question for you. I get that. Daniel. You're smarter than everybody else. So, for the rest of us.
Who don't know.
That would also mean that you had high expectations coming into the year for the Cardinals. Or higher expectations for the Cardinals. If you're not like Daniel, and you believe that this team, coming off a dead last year, didn't have high expectations coming in, and you still feel like they're underachieving, tell us why. What I'm saying is be like Daniel, don't be like Daniel. Be as smart and as gifted as Daniel is.
Do you want to be?
But just expound more than what Daniel did.
Well, Daniel, that was an interesting take, but it's your opinion. And
It wasn't even a take.
no, it wasn't it? It was an opinion. Captain Obvious, duh. That's what Daniel said.
He had high expectations for his Redbirds.
Clearly.
So they're underachieving.
Based off of last year, he had such high expectations of this team.
Yeah.
Yep, he saw the greatness with which they played last year, and his expectations were so high, and now he's let down.
Do you think they're underachieving?
Yes, of course. I do. I think they underachieved last year as well. No, I do.
So it wasn't obvious. So it was an obvious question then.
Well, I think that,
Which is kind of surprising me because again, we complained all offseason about them not adding enough and still having all these questions about them coming off a dead last year, but yet it's obvious that they're underachieving.
when you're a team that has I will say this, it's not necessarily the players, the current players, it's not all their fault that the expectations are what they are. The legacy, the history, the expectation is based off of what you've seen from this organization for decades. It's not to finish last in a division in which you said was the worst division in baseball. It's not to finish last and then come back, regroup, have the worst season that I can recall, and I'm 43 years old, I think the worst one since the 90s, regroup, and then come back and it still looks similar to what you saw last year. So it is extremely disappointing. And it's, again, if the pitchers were not performing in the rate in which they are, we would be the Chicago White Sox. That's where we would be right now. We would have 10 wins, similar to what we had last year. We're like 10-19 at one point. That's what this team would be. The pitching staff has got you at least 4 to 5 wins. Take them away. You're in single digits in wins, similar to the Chicago White Sox, who you are facing this weekend.
Right.
And so for me, yeah, that is disappointing. It's extremely disappointing. And so the players, the hitters, have to show up. They have to perform better. And again, I'm not speaking something. We're not beating them down. We're telling. This is the same thing that they know. Same thing that their coaches are telling them. You got to do your job and you have to do it better. Otherwise, you're not going to win. And if you are a superstar and being paid, superstars are the guys that get paid as such. You have to be a superstar. I was never a superstar in the NFL. I was a damn good. I say I was one in college, in high school, for sure. But when you get to the NFL, when you get to the major leagues, there are guys that are getting paid $40, $50, $60 million. You think those guys ain't supposed to hit? They are. $30 million, they are. The guy that's making $5 million, when he hits, that's wonderful. But the guys that are making 30, 25, 30, 40, you damn well better be doing 30, 25, 30, $40 million worth of work.
We got a text from the 314. It's not that simple. Not a symbol. That's an instrument. Have the
Prince? Is that what it was?
What?
Did they send the Prince symbol in? Is that what it was?
No, not symbol.
Oh, simple.
Symbol. Like the.
Oh, gotcha. Musical instrument.
Yeah. They all sound the same. It's not that simple. Have the bats underachieved? Yes, but the bullpen and starters should be considered overachieving right now. Do you believe that as well?
So I think that's a fascinating way to put that.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that. I think you're doing the job that you are paid to do as the pitchers and the starters and the bullpen.
Sure.
I wouldn't say they're overachieving. I think they're doing the job that they. Sonny Gray. I mean, he's and I don't know that he's overachieving because he's one of those guys that's making the money that warrants that type of performance. So again, when you are making X amount of dollars, there are expectations that are placed on you.
Yeah.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You are expected to perform to that. Otherwise, then let's go get 4 more guys and take that contract off and find 4 guys and plug and play. Mm-hmm. If that's the case. But that's not the case. You're getting paid X amount of dollars. You have to perform at that level. That's the expectation. In Pittsburgh, we weren't going to win if Ben didn't make plays. Mm-hmm. You're getting paid $20, $40, $30 million. If Hines drops passes, we're not going to be good.
Yeah.
If James Harrison doesn't rush the quarterback and get there, we're not going to be good because you're making so much money that the team around you is going to suffer if you are not great. And that's essentially where we are right now.
Yep. But it's not like all the bullpen guys are making top end money.
No. So they're doing that's why I said they're doing their job.
Yeah.
Kittredge is maybe you would say he's overachieving, but I think when you traded for him, that was the expectation for him to do this job. For me, overachieving is somebody that is performing at such a level that you're like, who never expected that. Mm-hmm. Jake Neighbors overachieved. Mm-hmm. That's an overachiever. Nobody expected 20-plus goals from Jake Neighbors. That is a guy that, where would we be without those goals? He overachieved because of what he's being paid and and how he performed.
And on the flip side of that, Jordan Kyrou, in my opinion, underachieved.
There you go.
From what our expectations were, and that's why that team was he's not the sole reason why they were not a playoff team, but it would have helped if he would have had maybe 10-plus more goals.
Yeah, very true. All right, we got your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to next Tuesday night's Bud Bash game for Cardinals and Mets. It's the next Bud Bash game of the 2024 season and includes a limited edition Tony Womack bobblehead. You can text in now, 314-399-9646 to win the Bud Bash tickets for Cardinals versus Mets on May 7th. So you got to have the correct answer and be the 101st texter to the 314-399-9646 Air Comfort Service text line. Tony Womack, how many times did he lead the National League in stolen bases? So how many years did he lead the National League in stolen bases? If you have the correct answer and you're the 101st texter, you'll win those Bud Bash tickets for Cardinals and Mets. And you can find all the details on this season's series of Budweiser Bash games now at cardinals.com/promotions. What's trending is next.
Find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
You could tell I was about to say something. Marsh leads What's Trending. Go ahead, Marsh.
All right, we have Anthony Stalter, Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, let's go to the NBA, shall we? The Milwaukee Bucks lost to the Indiana Pacers yesterday in Game 6, 120-98. Patrick Beverley, who plays on that Milwaukee Bucks team, was caught throwing a basketball not once but twice at fans. And then, he lasered this ball, hit this lady right in the head, and then the guy threw the ball back to him. And then right away threw it right back at this guy. I guess they were chirping. The fans must have been chirping at him. And then he was in the post-game press conference, and some reporter was trying to ask him a question, and he asked, hey, do you subscribe to my podcast? Or maybe you don't subscribe to my podcast, you can't ask me a question. So then it went to Twitter or X saying, quoting the exchange, he said, not fair at all. Exchange between a fan and our ball club all night. We warned and asked for help all night. Not fair. About 6 hours later, he came back and said, but I have to be better, and I will. What did you guys think of this when you saw this? Is this like okay if the fans are saying some dumb stuff, or do you just have to be a professional at that point?
No, it's never okay, and you're going to hear some of the worst things known to man from fans. They can be idiots. Some of them are. They're very disrespectful, very rude, and as a pro, you have to learn to tune it out. Mm-hmm. I've gotten really good at it. Sometimes I still carry that with me where I just don't hear anything. I don't, and people just tune it out. Mm-hmm. And because at the end of the day, that fan, to a certain degree, can say whatever they want to and won't be punished. But the moment you as a professional athlete respond, everyone's looking at you. Mm-hmm. No one knows the fan's name they got the ball thrown at them. No one really cares. They care about Patrick Beverley responding in the manner in which he did, and then he extended it by, being rude to the reporter, to the female reporter afterwards, to which he did apologize for both incidents, but you can't do that at all. There's never unless you are physically being assaulted where somebody comes on court or on the field and attacks you, then you can respond with however, in whatever manner in which you need to. But if they are sitting in the stands talking crap, saying all types of things about your mother, your children, your wife, your kid, you'll hear all of that. You got to ignore it and keep moving.
So I completely agree with what Carey just said. You do have to be a professional. You have to tune it out. Unfortunately, it's part of the business. It's part of you being a professional athlete. People feel as though because they pay to get in to watch you, or they're making less money than you, that they feel like they have the right to chuck insults at you. I think those people, quite frankly, are cowards.
I agree.
So, with that being said, though, I think you're right.
Because they also, for the most part, know that you cannot respond.
Exactly.
So it's almost they're taking advantage of a situation.
Cowards.
Yeah, taking advantage of a situation, saying what they want to say, insulting you, hurling insults at you, knowing that you can't respond or won't respond. And it does something for them, I guess,
Yeah, those type of fans are weak.
Yes.
They're incredibly weak. I agree that Patrick Beverley he's got to contain his emotions. He is a human being. I'm more, and this is not going to be a very popular take, I get this, but I'm more interested in what happens after the outburst, because we all get frustrated. We all get angry. We all get ticked off. And when somebody's hurling insults at you, and maybe you say, hey, can we get a little assistance on this, and nothing's done, you lose a game, you're going to be pissed off. I don't care who you are. If you're a competitor, you're going to be ticked off. I'm more interested in what he did afterwards, reaching out to Melinda Adams, the reporter, and calling her and apologizing. The Bucks reaching out, calling her and apologizing. This is, when we talk about culture, this is what we're talking about. Right. It was a rough series. They didn't have Giannis. They get bounced. It's a team that, many of those guys won the championship a couple years ago. This is a team that expects to to advance. What does Patrick Beverley do afterward? After he calms down, what does he do? He calls Melinda Adams. He apologizes. He circles back, say, I got to be better. Mm-hmm. Now, if he does it again next time, now it's like, okay, dude, we got to get you maybe some help here. But otherwise, I think what he did, the coming back around showed a lot of maturity.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we see this a lot with the NBA just because of how close the fans are. I mean, there's some fans are sitting right next to the team. Like you don't see that in any other sport. Maybe hockey, but you have the glass there.
Yeah, right.
Football. I mean, how far away are the fans? Maybe like a couple, like 20 yards. Maybe.
No, not that far.
Not even that far.
No, it depends on maybe 5 yards.
You can hear.
Yeah, 5-10 yards from the sidelines. It's not far. And in some of those college stadiums, I told you at Purdue, they are like with arms distance reaching you to be able to. That's where there's no sideline over there. So yeah, some places, Iowa, they're much closer than other places. But again, when you learn that, first of all, this person is an idiot. They're just saying whatever they want to say, knowing. And I know if we were in a different environment, meaning me not on the football field and you not in the stands, there's no way you would be saying that. So I have to take that and understand that and just, you know what, you have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
So,
as a former professional athlete, do you appreciate the fans, though, that aren't as personal with their chirps?
Yeah, some are funny.
Like, some are funny. You're like,
some are hilarious.
That's funny, and then you go out and you make a play and you come back, maybe, like, look at them, chirp them back.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, some of them are hilarious. You're like, oh, that was funny.
You got
it. Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
Or if they're, like, chirping your teammate, you're like,
Yeah, you'll laugh. Like, you hear it. But, again, as long as it's not an insult, personal, a personal dig. If they're just like, "Oh, you're terrible," okay, and then you make a play, am I terrible? Nah, you're still terrible. Okay, cool.
All right,
but we're winning, so not that terrible, right?
Yeah.
So it comes with the territory, but you can't. Patrick Beverley can't respond in that manner, and he knows it. And again, he apologized for it.
Own it. We all make mistakes. Own it.
That reminds me of a Jamie story when I think they were playing. I can't remember what team they were playing, but one of the fans was like, "Rivers, you've been our best player tonight." Like, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
So, we talked about this a while ago, but it is official. Odell Beckham Jr. has agreed to a one-year deal with the Miami Dolphins. A source confirmed to ESPN. It is a one-year deal worth $3 million with incentives that can push its max value up to $8.25 million. What are your thoughts on this?
Was that source CT ESPN?
It sure was.
All right, yeah. Antonio Brown.
This guy is locked in.
Over a month ago. Said he's going to Miami. And it's almost like the Dolphins had to wait to not make sure he was accurate. That's interesting. Like,
we can't give you too much credit.
Yeah, we're going to wait a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
Let this die down.
Now, Carey.
OCTESPN. That guy is
What
crazy.
a name. What a name.
He's something. Antonio Brown is something. Now, Carey.
Yeah.
You and I don't even know if it's defunct now. It's still out there, but our podcast.
Yeah.
What are we, the Gridiron Guys?
Yeah. You forgot the name?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
It's been a while. I mean, we did like, what, 6 weeks? 7 weeks?
Maybe 8.
Maybe
8.
You and I got into it back and forth. I said when Odell signed last year with the Ravens, it wasn't going to mean anything.
Yeah.
And you
right.
and I got back and forth. Are you going to double down? Okay. All right.
You're right.
He's done.
He's done.
Okay. All right.
He's going to be a good possession receiver. He'll make a couple third down catches. He'll probably have about between 15 and 25 catches on the year, maybe.
That's it. And that's a wrap.
And about 330 yards.
I'm a little surprised that they signed him after reading the report that the kid that they took out of Virginia, Malik Washington, Mike McDaniel apparently was he was all over the GM saying, hey, we need to get Chris Greer. We need to get Malik Washington. I want Malik Washington. And Washington's like a perfect slot receiver. I'm a little surprised that they also signed Odell after that. Because it's not like you need multiple slot receivers.
Right.
I can see if they're like, let's bring in a veteran guy. But.
And Waddle, he's gotten hurt a couple of times. Tyreek
Yep.
He actually played really well last year. Didn't get much injury. Had a couple of games where he went out with cramps and things like that, but played really well all year.
Sure.
I think it's just an insurance factor just to have a couple of guys just in case.
Yeah, I agree.
Got a text from the 636 Central Michigan's sports journalism products. Anthony Stalter and CTESPN.
I don't even know if Antonio Brown.
How's it feel to be a part of the same
It feels
conversation?
it feels real good. Yeah, I don't think he was a journalism major, was he? Maybe he was. I know he went back to finish up his schooling, so maybe he was a journalism major.
There's a lot of people that don't use their degree.
You're right about that. Yeah,
They go into something else. I did use my degree. Yeah.
What was your degree in?
Communication.
Okay.
In the mass communication.
All right, Carey.
Sport management.
Sportsman, and now you're managing sports.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
All right.
Kind of.
So we all kind of went into it. I was a journalism major and broadcasting minor. So
Worked out well.
All right.
Go to school, kids.
Go to school. Turner Ward made some comments recently about, how you get this offense jump started. And at least one of us said, man, I'm not blaming him anymore for the Cardinals' offensive struggles. We'll tell you who that is and why next on 101 ESPN.
Gibson, Lynn, and Sonny Gray are living up to expectations. They're even exceeding expectations. Miles is not doing what I was hoping he would do. And Matz has maybe been injured, but he's not coming through at all. The bullpen has been very good, but the hitting has been way off, and I was expecting a lot more of them. I don't know what their problem is, but they need to get it together.
There you go. That's our gal Janet here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. You can always leave us a mic drop if you'd like via the 101 ESPN app with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh and Anthony Stalter. Jamie Rivers has the day off today. Turner Ward chatted with Katie Wu of The Athletic about the Cardinals' recent struggles offensively. And after reading the article, some of you may, if you did read it, some of you may still felt like, yep, guys got to go. If the offense isn't performing, somebody has to be held accountable for that. And you're not going to fire all the players, so therefore the hitting coach needs to go, or the manager needs to go, or the pitching coach if the pitchers aren't performing up to test. Somebody has to take accountability for it. I get that. But if you want to have a conversation about this, dive into what Ward was saying, because a lot of that, I would think, gives people some perspective on how much a hitting coach can do. For example, Katie illustrated how, before we analyze the offense, it would help to understand what Ward and his staff emphasize with their hitters. Obviously, key metrics like exit velocity, launch angle, hard hit percentage are part of the game plan. But for Ward, it comes down to discipline and pitch selection. Some of you may only hear those advanced metrics and say, they're too much on analytics. See, I told you. But listen to this. Here's Ward. It's not necessarily a swing issue. It's more of a discipline issue, Ward explained. I think with us moving forward, it's about how we can be in a position as an offense to be ready to swing at pitches we can do damage on. Because when you're struggling, you just want to get a hit. So you become a strike zone hitter. That strike zone is pretty big, and the pitchers are pretty good. Learning how to shrink your strike zone and trying not to be so concerned about getting a hit, that's easier said than done. As big leaguers, you all have good swings. They can mechanically break down. But the issue is more often than not, it won't matter how good your swing is if your recognition skills aren't there. A really great swing with a chase is not productive. I have uttered these words, what I'm about to utter again, from our dear late friend Chris Duncan a ton of times, but there's a reason for it. You can't put a good swing on a bad pitch. You can look real pretty up in that box.
Right.
But if the slider or sweeper is 2 feet outside and you swing on it, the swing might look pretty. The result won't be. You cannot put a good swing on a bad pitch. That is what Ward is talking about here. And it's something that we've also often talked about too. What is your approach?
Yeah.
If a pitcher has 4 pitches or 5 pitches, are you eliminating some of them? Are you guessing when you go to the box? What does the situation call for? That has nothing to do with analytics. That has nothing to do with standard baseball numbers versus, again, the advanced metrics. It's about understanding the game, understanding who you are as a hitter, and understanding what the situation calls for. And all of those things can be aided by a hitting coach like Turner Ward. But when you get in the box, Carey, like you have said, it's still up to you to do the damage.
Yeah, and he's saying the discipline, there's a level of frustration when you aren't hitting the ball, which he says you're going to expand the strike zone. You're going to be chasing pitches that if you were hitting the ball well, you wouldn't be chasing after those pitches because you don't have a need or a desire to hit a ball that badly. Like you know this is a good pitch, this is not a good pitch. But when you're struggling, he's saying it, you're more likely to swing at pitches that aren't great pitches for you to hit. Then you're going to be hitting them into the ground, or you're going to be swinging and missing because it ends up out of the zone. And so really they're all tied in together. And at the end of the day, it's on the hitter to have the discipline despite struggling at the plate to be patient. There's that word, patience, to be patient at the plate and not chase pitches that are out of their strike zone or out of their wheelhouse.
Got a text from the 618. So Turner Ward is saying he isn't teaching the hitters pitch recognition, ? That's his job.
I think what he's saying is that he can work on as many things as possible.
Right.
But if the player can't recognize in real time what the pitch is, it doesn't matter what he works on. I highly doubt he's saying, well, I can work on some things, but I can't work on pitch recognition. I don't think Ward is saying that. And maybe you're one of the, this is why I started the segment saying it won't matter if you read something from Turner Ward if you want him gone. If you put all the blame from the offense on him, it's not going to matter what he says. You've already made up your mind on that. What I took out of it, and maybe I'm wrong on it, but what I took out of it is if he gives you the tools, it's still up to you to figure it out in the box.
Yeah.
And these guys, there's a lot of chase. There's a lot of taking of good pitches, maybe waiting too long in some instances, and swinging at the bad offering, swinging at the pitch that's a pitcher's pitch and a pitcher's count. That's not all on Turner Ward.
I mean, this goes with anything in life. Like if I was working with Microsoft Excel, doing all the little things and coming up with numbers and whatnot, and you're telling me how to do it, and I continually don't do it, is that my fault or is it your fault?
It's your fault. Because I've given you the instructions. I've given you the answers to the test. And then if you don't apply those answers when you're sitting down for the test and you continue to fail, you can't point at the teacher and say, hey, you didn't help me. No, I actually did. Mm-hmm. I gave you all of the things that you needed to work on, all of the things that you needed to look out for and expect, and now it's on you. That's why I continuously say that players have to play well, otherwise people lose their jobs. You talk to any coach at any level, from college and up, college, professional sports, any sport, they all understand. The players have to perform. Now, there are instances where maybe you can say, the team was unprepared, or the team didn't run the right offense, or they chose the wrong type of plays, or they didn't hit and run in this situation. There are instances in a game where you can pinpoint where the manager or the coach could be involved or should be more involved. But at the end of the day, the players have to perform well enough for that team to be successful.
Yeah.
Well, also, and maybe this isn't comparable because one guy won a championship and one guy's a hitting coach on a team that's not good, but the Blues didn't perform and Berube got fired. People were mad because the players let him down.
Sure.
But now it's completely different. But I will say, though.
Strange.
It is strange. I will say, though, if this team does continue to go down this road, I'm not opposed to making changes because it needs to happen at some point. And it's unfortunate because these guys aren't doing their damn job. Like Carey said, some guy might end up losing his job. Mm-hmm. But, it's tough. Like, I believe that this is on the players, but I'm also not saying that Turner Ward or whoever else isn't liable to whatever is happening.
Well,
right
I
now.
do want to go back to a point you kind of just made, though. Who's the Dodgers hitting coach?
I have no idea.
Who's the Braves hitting coach?
No.
Okay.
Because why?
Because the players
are pretty damn good, Anthony.
And producing.
All right. Well.
So.
Exactly.
And this offense has shown you prior to Turner Ward that sometimes their bats go cold. Mm-hmm. So is this just, we haven't found the right hitting coach since Mark McGwire was here?
Yeah.
Or is it we had the same group of players who consistently cannot find their swing at the right moments when they need to?
Right. I think it's the latter, quite frankly.
Yep.
At some point, you got to produce. And if you're Goldschmidt and you're Arenado, there's only so much that Turner Ward is going to go to you and help you with. All right, we've got a lineup, so let's play the lineup game next on 101 ESPN. Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, man, they got great deals going on throughout the month of May. As they've told you, your budget, well, needs to be rescued. Auto Centers Nissan has just activated their May Day deals, and it runs through, well, you get it, the month of May. It's specifically, designed to make upgrading into a new car easier and more affordable. So you can take advantage of certain incentives that they have on new Nissans right now, including 0% APR and payment terms all the way up to 84 months. They also have an incentive that has up to $5,000 off MSRP on new Nissan models. And then you could give your wallet a break with their no down payment needed and 3 months of no payments incentive. Whatever you're looking for, new Nissan Rogue, new Nissan Pathfinder, maybe a Nissan Altima, they've got them there, and they've got great incentives and great deals and great pricing on those new Nissans. If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, great. They've got over 700 vehicles all in one location out in Herculaneum just for you to choose from. So head online at autocentersnissan.com, and then when you go out to the dealership, tell them Stalter sent you. Auto Centers Nissan, you're going to love the experience there. You're going to love the selection, the exclusive complimentary lifetime warranty and complimentary one-year maintenance, as well as the 30-day return promise, and you're going to absolutely love the people out there. It's Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Time to play the lineup game here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We did get a text coming off that one segment. Somebody texted in, you should know who the Braves hitting coach is. It's Kevin Seitzer, who grew up in Springfield, Illinois. Went to Eastern Illinois. You should know who he is. I knew who the Dodgers' two hitting coaches are. The point is, the majority of people don't know who they are because the players are performing. And we don't want to give any credit to the hitting coaches when the players are performing. But when somebody's not, it's the hitting coach's fault. That was the overall point. So I appreciate the text. For example, Mason Wynn.
Yeah.
Any credit given to Turner Ward for Mason Wynn's performance thus far?
I don't think so.
Absolutely not. It all goes to Mason Wynn. Right? But Goldschmidt and Arenado and some of these other guys, if they're underachieving, that's Turner Ward's fault. We try to have it both ways constantly. So that was my main point. Thank you for the text, though. Appreciate it. All right. Carey, you ready?
I am ready.
Ready to play a lineup game?
Yeah, sure.
So you got White Sox, you got Cardinals tonight. Sonny Gray on the bump for the Cardinals. And for the White Sox, it's Brad Keller, the former Pittsburgh Pirate, who's a right-hander.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So, Carey, we starting off with
Donnie Baseball.
Donnie Baseball?
Yeah,
all
why
right.
not?
Show us Brendan Donovan.
Donnie.
Hey, this headband's pretty cool.
Okay. 1 for 1.
He's playing. All right. Well, you know,
It has been Wilson Contreras.
it has been. You want to go there again?
I think so. I don't think Ollie changes much.
I have a gut feeling that it's changed, but we can go Wilson. I feel like maybe Paul Goldschmidt back here, but you know, go Wilson Contreras because you said so.
I think it's Goldschmidt, but you think it's Contreras. So we'll go with you. If it's wrong, I just want to make sure that you know
Just wanted to put that
I
out
wanted
there.
Goldschmidt.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Show us Wilson Contreras.
DH.
Oh, Marcy.
what I said. That's
There you go.
Check.
Okay. Now this is
Who
this
knows?
is Newt.
You think it's Newt?
Let me rephrase. It has been Newt.
What is Newt? Is
He's an outfielder.
know that
Outfielder, left-hander.
he's not hitting the ball really well.
Not
right
hitting
now.
the ball. Yeah.
Think he's still here in the lineup?
Yes, I do.
All right. Anthony said it. Show us Lars Nootbaar.
That's ridiculous.
That's what I said, Janet. I was thinking the same thing.
All right. So who do you think is here?
I have no clue. You wanted to be a lefty. Well, I think it is a lefty.
It doesn't have to be a lefty.
Do you think it's
Gorman?
no? He's not hitting the ball well either.
Nope. Who is? Besides Mason Wynn, who is?
I mean, he should have been first and moved
All right,
everyone down.
this could be Arenado, this could be Goldschmidt, this could be Gorman.
Let's go Gold. Let's go Goldie. Goldie's been batting fifth.
He was fifth.
Arenado has been cleanup.
Yes, for the most part.
Let's keep that. Let's go
Goldschmidt?
Goldie. Yeah. Show us
Right.
Paul Goldschmidt.
Chalk. Yeah. Get my tub of chalk.
Okay. This is
there you go.
Arenado.
You know who this is.
Show us Nolan Arenado.
He's a Gold Glove winner and perennial All-Star.
Oh, listen to Mr. Gold Glove over here.
Come on.
All right, so now Goldschmidt fifth. This could be Gorman or it could be Alec Burleson. Burleson has been hitting six.
I was thinking Burley.
And he's one of the few hitters that's been rolling.
But then the issue you're going to have is, well, they did it a couple of times where they had three lefties in a row, so that no longer matters to them. So let's go Alec Burleson.
I agree. Go
Show
ahead.
us Alec Burleson.
Alec, we have a problem.
Burley to the rescue.
All right.
When is he DH? Probably. All right.
So this could be Gorman. They could go back-to-back lefties. This could be...
Are we not ever going to move Mason? Not us. We're not ever going. Well, not us. Are they not ever going to move Mason Wynn up in the lineup? I mean, just doesn't
Well,
matter.
he's made some changes already here. Goldie going back up to 3. Burleson being moved up. So maybe this is the time
But then
where
you think, but then then it'll be three lefties in a row. So you'll have a lefty, righty, lefty, lefty, lefty. If it's
no,
Lars.
well, no, because you got Arenado, Burleson.
No, I'm talking about after this situation because it will be Siani's probably batting ninth. You got you got
three lefties, 7, 8, 9.
Yes.
Well, I don't
Which-
know. Let's.
I know. Okay.
Do you think?
I think
do you
ahead,
think-
Anthony. That's how I play the game.
I got you.
I gotta manage the entire, here piece here and this guy and
Do you think
should be
Mason-
inside here one day? You should never.
Do you think Mason Wynn gets moved up? That's the question.
I would like to see that.
Go ahead.
Show us Mason Wynn.
I'm watching the Futures game. This thing's all over Instagram. It's like
What a
this guy
fake.
threw a ball 100 across the. That's awesome, but like, how many throwing errors does he have?
Shut up. All right.
That's my favorite. The shut up. Yep.
Third,
Tell him,
first.
Come to St. Louis and tell him about it.
Can you smell what Marmol is cooking?
Typically not. No.
Not really.
Yeah.
All right. So what
Must
do we
be
need
that.
here? We need a center fielder. Do you think Burleson's DH?
Yeah, I think Burley's. Yeah.
Donovan's in left, do you think?
Yep. Lars is in right, and that would mean Siani is in center, which means you still need a second baseman, which is probably Nolan Gorman.
So Lars, Gorman, Siani?
Yeah, that's why I said I didn't think it would be three lefties
Yeah.
in a row, but I'm okay with it. I think Lars right here.
And actually be 4 in a row once you flip the lineup back up.
Yeah, we last week we talked about that as well.
All right, Lars here?
Yep.
All right, show us Lars Newbar.
What makes you think she's a witch? Well, she turned me into a newt. A newt. Got better.
I'm going to look up Keller's numbers here. Go ahead.
Show us Nolan Gorman.
Get your fresh organic popcorn.
Get your popcorn ready.
So Gorman.
Now, you guys are one pick away from an immaculate lineup game.
No, we got one
we
wrong.
got Goldie wrong.
We got Gold. No, we got Goldie wrong.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we went with Newt.
Oh, man.
He didn't believe me when I said it.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I thought we were a team. I guess I was mistaken. That's my fault.
When we win, we are.
Well, we are winning.
There we are. We only missed one.
Go ahead.
This is Michael Ciani. Show us Super Bad.
Michael.
There you go.
Michael.
You're not Michael Phelps. You're Michael Cera.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
8 out of 9 ain't bad.
No. I'm looking at Brad Keller versus lefties. Lefties are hitting 262 off him in his career. Splits are pretty
even?
Pretty even.
All right.
Yeah. Yep. 48 doubles against lefties, 51 given up to righties, 32 home runs. Plate appearances are kind of similar. Anyways, all right, go ahead, Marsh. Run it.
All right, leading off in left field, Brendan Donovan. Batting second, catching Wilson Contreras. Batting third, your first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt. Your cleanup hitter, third baseman.
No.
Batting fifth, the DH, Alec Burleson. Batting sixth, the shortstop, Mason Wynn. Batting seventh in right field, Lars Taylor Tatsui Newbar. Batting eighth, second baseman, Nolan Gorman. And batting ninth in center field, Michael Ciani.
Stay fair! Go foul!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Home run.
All right, boys, you guys go first. I got to go last on this one. I'm still 0 for gopher.
Oh, you're ahead, right, Marsh?
I think Jamie and I are tied.
At 4?
I believe so.
I got 2.
Because of Wilson Contreras.
Yeah. Twice, I think. I don't know. I think
Sounds
I got
right.
2.
I feel like we haven't played the lineup game in Home Run Derby in like a week.
It's been a minute.
Doubleheader, games on the weekend.
Well, yeah, because the game that we chose, I believe, got rained out.
Yeah, postponed.
Or did we do it the next day?
I think we did it the next day.
We did do it the next day. But
they-
no one
that
hit a
was-
home run.
Yeah.
No, that was the game that they came back against Flaherty.
Is that the game?
Yeah. We did the lineup game the day before,
no one hit a
and then
home
we
run.
came back and
Next
we
day
reset.
was another day game.
Right. But we reset with that game, and then Flaherty shoved, and then you singled Shelby Miller to death in the ninth. So, yeah, no home runs that game. Anyways, Marsh, go ahead.
So last Friday, I picked Alec Burleson to hit a home run, and I think I'm going to stick with Big Burly Biscuit, as I heard that's what Kyle Gibson and the rest of the team calls Alec Burleson. They call him Biscuit.
Nice.
Saw that on the opening drive. So I'm going to go with Alec Burleson.
This guy.
What?
This guy.
What did I do?
Every time.
I think you picked his guy.
Every time. That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Great minds think alike.
You are correct.
I just happened to pick ahead of you.
I gotta get it, and that means I gotta get in front of you. But if you keep picking Burley, I might not. Give me. You know what? I'm gonna go back to it again. Just feel like a 2-run shot, 3-run shot by old
Contreras?
Nope, Mason Wynn.
Oh, I thought you were going back because you also hit a home run last Friday with Wilson Contreras.
I did. Well, not I didn't, but
I mean, you helped him for
I actually am part of the reason why he hit it.
What guy do you want to give Jamie? Who
Michael
you want?
Ciani. Nah, don't do that to him. Give him Donnie. He likes Brendan Donovan.
He does also like Nolan Gorman.
He loves Nolan Gorman. He wouldn't be upset with Gorman.
What about Newt Bar?
Newt Bar's fine, but I feel like he's a Gorman guy.
Yeah.
Go give him Nolan Gorman.
All right.
Oh, Paul Gorman.
And I will take Nolan Arenado. He's the only one with the home run against Brad Keller. I'll play the matchup game. Of course, it's only 9 plate appearances. Doesn't matter much, but nonetheless, give me Nolan Arenado.
Good for you.
Thank
Anthony.
you. Yeah. Still looking for my first here. Little rough.
It's not on you, though. Know that.
It's definitely on me. I'm making the selection, so
okay.
It's all my fault. Is there another team in the UFL that can compete with this Battlehawks offense? And is this team significantly better than the one we saw a year ago? That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals take on the Chicago White Sox tonight. Sonny Gray takes the mound going up against Brad Keller. First pitch is at 7:15. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Also this weekend here in St. Louis, the St. Louis Battlehawks are taking on the Houston Roughnecks. Start time of 2 o'clock. Is there another UFL team that can keep up with your St. Louis Battlehawks? We're going to talk about that next, coming up right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Battlehawks play again this weekend. We got done talking to Mike Rose yesterday, and another player, unsurprisingly, that loves the Battle Dome and the way that the fans continue to show up and are loud and supportive for our Battlehawks. And Carey, I think that this team, first and foremost, I think this team is much better than it was a year ago defensively. Offensively, you saw a lot of the things that we're seeing now. But the offensive line has improved, in my opinion. I think you've added even more weapons, whether it's somebody out of the backfield. You know, they've got 3 running backs. All of them can catch the ball out of the backfield. They've got a slew of position players, different skill sets, different sizes, different areas of the field that they can attack. But that defense has caused more havoc this year, which I thought was missing last season. More sacks, more turnovers. More
aggressive, just flying around, getting after the ball carrier and making big plays. I agree with you. I think this team is better than what you saw last year. To me, that was a really good team last year, but they look more, tied together on both sides of the ball. And special teams, you got a couple of block punts. Like when you're clicking in all 3 phases of the game, you're probably going to win. And there's a stat, I can't remember the percentage, but it's about almost 80 to 90% when you block a punt, you're probably going to win that game. They blocked 2 last week. So they are playing outstanding. And it's fun to watch. I talked about it. If there was one thing that I would nitpick about it, would be preferably more explosive plays downfield. But all in all, if you're unable to stop those crossing routes, they do a really good job of getting guys open. I think the game against the Showboats, I was talking about the route where they had the tight end slip out into the flat, and they had the crossing routes and guys going every which way, and it was the back slipping out into the flat. Like they are. Bruce Gradkowski is doing a really good job of creating plays and getting guys the ball, getting guys open. And they got some studs. Hakeem Butler is a stud. He is a dude. And so is A.J. McCarron. They got some players on this team that are really good. And, I know the ultimate goal for those guys is to get back into the NFL or get into the NFL. I do hope that they continue to play this well and have success, and then do get that opportunity. First, win it all here, and then I know the ultimate goal and the dream is to play in the NFL, so hopefully they get that opportunity again. Yeah, and it goes to show you the job that Anthony Becht and his coaching staff and the scouting department has done compiling the talent that they have on both sides of the ball. And Anthony Becht told us, too, when we were chatting with him at the Battlehawks season kickoff party, that he felt as though that his defense was going to be better this season. So you got all these weapons offensively. I don't think there's any other we've seen every team thus far except for Birmingham, and I've caught a little bit of their games, but they don't play Birmingham until next week. I don't think there's a better group of skill position players in the league than the Battlehawks, than what the Battlehawks have. They the best receiver room, I think, hands down. Like they got Marcel Aitman. We talked to Peasy, Ja'Cory Pearson. Like they got Darius Shepard, who does really good on special teams as well, returning kicks. Like when I say the team is clicking in all phases, it truly is. The opening kickoff last week was returned to like the 20 or 30 yard line. Like those things make your team the best that they can be. If you can get really competent special teams, and they're getting beyond that. If you're getting defense that gets the ball back, they turn the ball over. A.J. McCarron turned the ball over the first drive. They got the ball back immediately the first drive on defense. They are a team that is playing at a high level and playing with confidence. I think that's the most important thing. Like, you're playing well, but the more you play and the better you play, the more confident you become, and you're seeing that. And we're seeing it when we talk to the guys every week. Every Thursday, you can hear the confidence and the just what's being instilled in them by the head coach, Anthony Beck, by the defensive coordinator, Donnie Abraham, and from Bruce Gradkowski. They are really building this team, and these players are buying in and have bought in, and they love playing here in St. Louis. It's been exciting to watch.
Yeah, last year I felt as though that they had a great advantage because of McCarron. You know, he gets to the line of scrimmage. There's a couple of times where he'll look over and he'll transition to another play on the fly, and you know, there's that sort of that level of, yeah, this guy has played the NFL. He's been a backup. The Bengals sought him out to be the backup to Jake Browning last season after Joe Burrow got hurt.
Right.
There's that element of experience that comes with A.J. McCarron. But now I feel, like you said, there's more synergy between the offense, the defense, and special teams. They're playing complementary football. The special teams are consistently setting the offense up with great field position.
Yes.
The defense, especially last week, the amount of sacks and turnovers that they have created has been huge. I also think that the offense being able to score at will at times and giving them the lead, it is. I think the run defense has been better, but if there is one area of concern with this Battlehawks team, I do think it's the run defense.
Okay.
Last year, the run defense got gouged. This season, though, it feels as though that the offense is staying ahead consistently, and when you do have a lead, it's forcing these other teams to have to throw.
Yeah.
I thought that was a big game last week. DC has not performed as well this season as it did a year ago in the XFL, and they got you twice last year. So to go on the road to DC, feel like you had kind of a commanding lead, watch it slip away early in the third quarter, and then completely throttle those guys in the final quarter and a half. I thought that was pretty big for them. So hopefully they continue the success. Again, Birmingham's on the docket next week, and they got Adrian Martinez, the former Nebraska, and I think he was a K-State quarterback too.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in college for
8 years.
8 years.
Felt like.
He's the quarterback for that team. So that's going to be real interesting to see what happens a week from now. But this upcoming Sunday, they've got the Houston Roughnecks, who've had a bad year. So throttle them.
Go ahead, take care of your business.
Marsh, you going to the Battle Dome this weekend?
I'm not going to the Battle Dome this weekend. I will be watching, though. No, not this weekend. We have WWE Backlash in France. So
okay.
That starts at 11.
France?
No, I'm not going to France. I'll be watching. Be watching at my house. We'll have a few TVs on. We'll have Backlash. We'll have the Cardinals game, and we'll have the Battlehawks game
good.
on. So
awesome. Cool.
Should be a good weekend of sports.
Nice.
And entertainment.
Good.
So
excellent.
I mean, we got this Cody Rhodes going up against AJ Styles for the belt, baby.
Are you still watching?
I haven't watched in a couple of weeks.
Going up against Judgment Day.
I saw, I forgot who took the rings off of Patrick Mahomes. Who was that?
Oh, that was Logan Paul.
It was Logan Paul, yeah. Logan Paul took the rings got the rings from Patrick Mahomes. He was going to hit a guy, Jay Uso missed him. Jay Uso missed him. And it was,
it was great.
And he was just like, it was.
Anthony, you got to watch this. You got to look at this guy named Braun Breaker. Whenever you see that guy spear somebody.
It's something else.
Oh, my gosh. Former football player at Kennesaw State.
You got to watch. You got to check it out. We're going to get you. You got to turn on some WWE one day.
Yeah.
Just on the YouTube. Find it so you can check it out you'll be interested. Yeah.
Anthony, all it takes is one spear from Braun Breaker and you're in, dude.
Sure.
Yep.
I'm telling you right now.
I don't know if I've got room right now for that, but
I don't know
it's a possibility.
Anthony, I'll tell you right now, you can stop watching those Marvel movies because, unfortunately, they get worse.
Oh, no.
They have gotten worse.
You're not even to Thor Love and Thunder yet. That movie is terrible.
Oh, no,
It's not good. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
You
watching
tune
the
into
second
Backlash, baby.
You can pick something else up. You got room now. You got space.
I still feel like I owe it to the Marvel Universe to continue, though.
I mean, you should.
Like I'm on that second Doctor Strange one, and we're going back and forth in different universes and stuff.
That's hard for that's hard for me to like.
It pisses me off.
Yeah, like where are we?
What multiverse are we in right now?
Did you guys watch the TV series Lost?
Yes, I loved
did
it
not.
until
the time change or the time travel. I mean,
it was. I didn't know what was going on.
I didn't know what was going
lost.
on. Yeah.
I was lost. It was a great show.
Yeah,
until it wasn't.
And I wasn't watching it like I had picked it up much later than the release date. Eventually, I caught up and then watched the final episode live.
It was.
But Carey, I was the same way. So I was watching it kind of in sequence. And I'm just not big on the time travel stuff.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. The only time travel movie that did okay was Back to the Future. You know?
Man, it established in Avengers Endgame that was all BS.
You told me those laws don't apply? All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Do a certain group of players in one specific sport have way too much power? That's next on 101 ESPN. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Carey, you're a big NBA fan.
I am.
Do the players have too much power in the NBA? Or do you feel like it's a good thing that all these guys can kind of get together and form super teams, and if it doesn't work out, they just go ahead and get the head coach fired?
Even though said head coach has a winning record in 2 seasons.
Well, I think
ipso facto.
The need for, I think you can't put it solely on the players, because there's a person that is hiring said players, that is signing said players, and allowing these quote unquote super teams to take place. I think if you're a general manager, if you're an owner, a head coach, you should be picking the players that make your team the best. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, teaming up with all of these great players, it doesn't always work out. You look at what Kevin Durant in Brooklyn, what they did with Kyrie and supposed to be, James Harden and then Ben Simmons, who I haven't seen, and I don't know when the last time he played. But
that didn't work out.
That didn't work out at all.
I mean, the whole Nets experiment did not work
it did
out.
not work at all. And so then you get Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. That hasn't worked out really well. So I think it's just about finding, the right piece. You had LeBron, Westbrook, and AD. Nah, not really. You got Kawhi and PG and James Harden now. They're not, Kawhi is often hurt, so who knows how that series is how they're gonna turn out. But I think it's just about finding the right players. I don't know. I'll never say that the players have too much, too much power, because I'm a former player. I think players should have as much power as they can have, because at some point your career is going to be over. At some point you're not going to be able to make as much money. At some point, an owner or an ownership group is going to try to move you along for the younger, better player that they think can help their franchise. So I'm all for the players at all times, so I will never agree that they have too much power. I just won't. But I think it's on ownership and again, general managers, to make sure that they are putting the right people in the right places, despite what that player may want or desire. And Rock and I were talking about that in the office. Pat Riley was not going to let LeBron James kind of dictate how that organization went. Mm-hmm. No, this is what Stalter is the coach. This is what we are going to do. Yeah. If you don't want to be here, cool. We got 4 title runs out of you. We got 4 championship appearances. We won 2. Yeah, this is how we're going to do it. If you're not on board, then, and that's a strong person and strong leadership. Yeah. Leadership that will be willing to make that case and not have a player overrun what they want to do.
I wonder if this is it too for I don't know if LeBron wins again.
Oh no, I don't think so.
I mean, he's still a very good player. He's still going to be able to attract, guys like Anthony Davis, and he's going to, as long as he wants to play, he's going to have somebody within the league that wants to join that team. But they can't make a run. They can't make a deep run.
Right.
I actually think, and I know they got Denver right away. I actually think if you're going to have to face Denver at some point, you might as well face them when you're fresh.
Yeah. They had no chance in that series. Again,
no.
Denver let them get one game, and like I told Jamie, we call it a gentleman's sweep. You win 4 of the 5 games, and we'll give you one, gentlemen.
Spider-Man sweep.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody gets one.
Oh no, yeah, okay, no, all right. Sure.
Okay.
But I just feel like
a wrestling crack, you would have got that.
Speaking of Spider-Man, did you see Imanaga the other day when they were playing the Mets? He said that he recognized the city of New York because of the movie Spider-Man.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Because his hotel view was the same in Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. A little fun fact. Anyways, continue.
Well, thank you.
Everybody likes Spider-Man. What have you seen thus far in the NBA playoffs? I was like looking as soon as the playoffs start. I always like looking at the way that rosters are built in any sport, and it has always been, at least it's been like this for a while. I shouldn't say always been. It is for quite a while. It has been if you have 2 superstars, you're in good shape. If you have 3 stars, 1 of them, 2 of them are superstars, you're likely to win a title.
Yeah.
But I feel like things are starting to change a little bit this season. You got an aging LeBron. Anthony Davis can't. You've pointed this out. He can't stay healthy. Giannis was hurt. Joel Embiid and the Sixers bounced last night by the Knicks. who got out to a big lead early on. Then the Sixers got up by about 7, and then they collapsed again in the fourth quarter. I know Embiid wasn't healthy, and I know Maxey was great, but that Sixers team bows out again. You got teams like Cleveland and Orlando, and even the Clippers. I feel like teams are being built differently now. And they're getting further. I shouldn't use the Clippers as an example. I should use Indiana.
Group. Yeah. I think you're seeing like a changing of the guard. I think you're seeing Steph Curry not make the playoffs. You're seeing Kevin Durant swept in the first round. You're seeing LeBron James 5 games, 4 and 5 and out. Like, you're seeing these younger players, and it is exciting. Like, it's fun to see Anthony Edwards play basketball. It's fun to watch Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and that Oklahoma City Thunder team that after every game, they interview one person, but you got 5 or 6 people around just being a part of the interview. Like, they are young. They are excited. They are wanting to win. The New York Knicks, who are a team that has been putrid for 20, 30 years, Jalen Brunson is a freaking dog, and he is a baller. So watching him and watching all of these younger players, you're really, in my opinion, seeing a changing of the guard. You're seeing some of the older guys, and I think there were so many questions like, well, what do we do when LeBron is no longer winning, when Steph is no longer, when James Harden isn't the scoring champ, when you get the name brand guys are to their prime, getting to the point where they're past their prime. Well, I think the answer is here. You got Jason Tatum up in Boston. Like, you got young group of guys, a core group of guys that are young, that are hungry, and that are really putting themselves in a position to be the face of the NBA here in the next 2 to 3 years.
And I don't think the super teams, the ones that are not constructed internally, like Golden State, to me, at the time was a super team, but they put that team together through drafting, other than the Kevin Durant thing.
Right.
Other than that, like, that team was good on its own. It was homegrown. Like, I feel like we're seeing that with OKC right now, Indiana. The Knicks have something going on. But, like, the Suns, they somewhat had that when they went to the finals.
Right.
But now they bring in all these other names, like the Kevin Durant's, bringing in Bradley Beal. Like, it's not working anymore.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you need, instead of like a big 3, you need like a dynamic duo of some sort. Is that better?
I think it helps. You always need at least 2 players that are potential Hall of Famers. Like, I can go back all the way to early 90s. Every team that I can think of had at least 2 players that were Hall of Famers. The only one that comes to mind is probably the 94 Rockets when they had Hakeem before they got Clyde Drexler the following year. Like, that was the only team that I can think that won a championship that didn't have multiple future Hall of Famers on it. Like, you're going to have a team with 2 to 3 guys that are going to be in the Hall of Fame in the NBA. That's just the rule of thumb, in my opinion. But if you have those 2 to 3 guys and you're surrounded, I think the Suns' problem, probably the Lakers' problem, you're spending so much money on those 2 to 3 players that your bench is now thin and you're not as good around you. Same thing could probably be said. Well, Milwaukee had a good team, and they had a really good bench. They had good role players, but Giannis was hurt. So, and Dame missed some games in that series as well. And that group never really was able to mesh because both of those guys weren't healthy at the same time all season long. So, and Chris Middleton as well. So, yeah, I just think it's 2 to 3 guys that are superstars, future Hall of Famers, and then 6 to 7 role players that do their job, that can get you 15 points, 20 if you need a night from them, and do all of the dirty work, play good defense, rebound, and make good passes. You'll have a championship team.
All right, we need a new Gauntlet contestant.
We got one.
We don't need a new Gauntlet contestant because we just got one. So Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane. I'm Carey Davis, joined by Anthony Stalter whenever he gets back, and Andrew Marsh. And it is time for the Gauntlet, and our contestant today is Joseph. Joseph, how you feeling?
I'm doing well. Ready to go.
You're ready to roll. Okay, so you know how the game is played. You've listened. You know what's going on. Do you want Anthony?
Yep.
You want me, or do you want Marsh?
Who gives me the best? Who is the best and who's the worst when it comes to hockey?
Statistically, or
we might not get hockey.
You might not get hockey, but I think he's hedging his bet.
I'm hoping for hockey.
Who's okay? So
you are the best in hockey.
We will provide you. We'll provide you the information, and then you can make your decision from that. So, Marsh, I personally, without the statistics, I think Marsh is best at hockey.
I agree.
I don't think there's any question about that. Because Jamie's off, but Marsh is fantastic at hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Who has had hockey the most?
Anthony, you have had hockey 7 times. I've had it 8 times. Carey's had it 5 times.
All right, so statistically, you're more likely to get hockey if you go with Marsh or me than Carey. So there you go.
I'm going to guess. No offense to Carey. I'm going to assume that Carey is the least knowledgeable with hockey. We'll go with Anthony.
It is. Did you?
He said,
did you say me?
Yes. You said Anthony?
Did you say me, Anthony?
Yeah, I said Anthony. I don't want to. Yeah, I want somewhat of a challenge, but I'm talking a big talk, so I better win.
Okay, that's fair.
It's in the middle, so he doesn't want to face Carey in hockey, but he doesn't want to face me in hockey. So
if he gets hockey and he has Carey, he's not satisfied. Yeah. If it's me, it's a little bit of a challenge, but he still likes his chances. I totally get you, Joseph. I got you.
It's like a middling team.
Yeah, I got you. All right. Good luck.
All right, Anthony is going off to the cone of silence. Joseph, tell Marshy to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel, Marshy.
All right, so you know the rules. If you get it right without any options, it's 2 points. If you get it right with the option, it's 1 point. And if you get it incorrect, it is 0 points. And Joseph, your topic is not hockey. It is actually baseball.
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Marshy is giving me the launch codes, and we will be ready to roll here in 1 second. All right, Joseph, here we go. Question number 1. On Wednesday, the Cardinals dropped the finale of their 3-game series against Detroit, 4-1. Can you tell us the Tigers' all-time leader in saves?
Options.
Is it Todd Jones, Jose Valverde, or Fernando Rodney?
Ooh. I was thinking Todd Jones before. Let's go Todd Jones.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Question number 2. Earlier this week, Redbirds righty Kyle Gibson racked up a season-high 9 strikeouts. Gibson recorded a career-best 179 Ks in 2018 when he pitched for the blank. So what team did he pitch for in 2018?
Let's go with options.
Options are the Texas Rangers, the Minnesota Twins, or the Philadelphia Phillies.
Go with Philly.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Question number 3. Ellie De La Cruz currently paces the majors with 18 stolen bases through 31 games, but who was last season's king with 73 total swipes?
Ronald Acuna.
Final answer?
Yeah.
And question number 4. The most recent batter to strike out 6 times in a single game was Jeff Jenkins in 2004. What team did Jenkins slug for at that time?
Milwaukee Brewers. Final answer.
All right, we'll get Anthony back in here. Did you wave him in? No, not yet. Joseph, how you feel?
Unsure.
Unsure.
Anthony is 4-0 right now in said
baseball?
category.
Okay, well.
We'll see if it turns to 4-1.
Anthony, how do you feel?
What'd you just say, 4-1?
No, you're 4-0 in this category that you're about to partake
I know it's
in.
not hockey.
Nah, it's not hockey. How do you feel?
Who should I have chosen? Who should I have chosen if I knew it was baseball?
Oh, so it's baseball. Okay.
Ooh, probably me. I'm 2-1. I got absolutely blanked the other day in baseball.
You did get blanked.
Like blanked
That was
and blanked.
it's pretty
Blanked
bad.
on the scoreboard and blanked.
In
Never
life.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
You said it
so,
right.
baseball is your category.
Okay.
Marcia, you want to tell him?
Yeah, pack a lunch, Anthony.
All right. Okay. I made it this time. All right. Question number 1. On Wednesday, the Cardinals dropped the finale of their 3-game series against Detroit 4-1. Can you tell us Detroit Tigers' all-time leader in saves?
All-time leader in saves. The Tigers. I don't think it's Joel Zamaya. Probably missing somebody pretty obvious. Let's take the options.
Is it Todd Jones, Jose Valverde, or Fernando Rodney?
Oh, wow. Rodney was there for long. I'll go Fernando Rodney. Final answer.
Question number 2. Earlier this week, Redbirds righty Kyle Gibson racked up a season-high 9 strikeouts. Gibson recorded a career-best 179 Ks in 2018 when he pitched for what team?
In 2018? Had to be the Orioles, right? I'll go Orioles. Final answer.
Question number 3. Ellie De La Cruz currently paces the majors with 18 stolen bases through 31 games, but who was last season's king with 73 total swipes?
73. Had to be Acuna, right? Ronald Acuna Jr. Final answer.
And question number 4. The most recent batter to strike out 6 times in a single game was Jeff Jenkins in 2004. What team...
Tough day.
That is a tough day. What team did Jenkins slug for at that time?
What's his name?
Jeff Jenkins.
Jeff Jenkins.
Or Jenkins.
Isn't he a Brewer? Jenkins? I'll take the options.
Options are the Blue Jays, the Reds, or the Brewers.
I feel like he was a Brewer. I'll take the Brewers. Final answer.
All right. Wow. This is an interesting fight we got here. All right, you ready? Anthony?
Yes, sir.
Joseph, here we go. Let's start with question number 3. Ellie De La Cruz currently paces the majors with 18 stolen bases through 31 games, but who was last season's king with 73 total swipes? Joseph, without the options, you took Ronald Acuna. Anthony, without the options, you also took Ronald Acuna. The correct answer is...
It is Ronald Acuna Jr.
All right, Joseph.
2-2 tie.
Way to go, kid.
Let's go to question number 4. The most recent batter to strike out 6 times in a single game was Jeff Jenkins in 2004. What team did Jenkins slug for at the time? Joseph, you took the Brewers. Anthony, you took the Brewers. Wow. The correct answer is...
It is the Milwaukee Brewers.
But Joseph didn't need the options.
Oh, Joseph, you slick fielding, you know what. Nice job.
Joseph, you are up 4-2.
I even said Brewers, too. I should have went with the old gut, Marsh.
I'm sorry, 4-3, excuse me. 4-3. Question number 2. Earlier this week, the Redbirds righty Kyle Gibson racked up a season-high 9 strikeouts. Gibson recorded a career-best 179 Ks in 2018 when he pitched for which team? Joseph, you took the options, and you said the Phillies. Anthony, you took no options, and you said the Orioles. The correct answer is...
It is the Minnesota Twins.
Neither one of you got it right. 4-3.
Blew it.
Going into the final question. On Wednesday, the Cardinals dropped the finale of their 3-game series against Detroit 4-1. Can you tell us the Tigers' all-time leader in saves? Joseph, you took the options. You said Todd Jones. Anthony, you took the options. You said Fernando Rodney. If the answer is Todd Jones or Jose Valverde, Joseph wins. If it is Fernando Rodney, well, we got a walk-off. Joseph.
You have chosen wisely.
Nice job, Joseph. What was the correct answer on that one?
It was Todd Jones.
Todd Jones.
Yeah.
Nice job. Well done,
Joseph wins
Joseph.
5-3.
You crushed it, man. Well done.
4-1. How's it feel?
Whoa! You were 4-0 coming into today. Is basically what he's telling you. How do you feel? Whew. Right.
Well, you know what? If you don't subscribe to the Gridiron Guys podcast, Anthony's not going to answer any of your questions.
Hey, you know what? It feels great because I lost to a fine, upstanding young man like yourself, who is nothing but class and perseverance and grit.
There you go.
Feels okay.
Good job, Joseph.
All right.
Good job.
Nice job, Joseph. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing.
Thanks so much, guys.
All right, we'll see you, buddy.
We'll see you
Have a
Monday.
good weekend.
See you on Monday.
Absolutely. There you go. Hope one of you guys beat that mother.
Whoa! Anthony,
No, that was a hell of a performance. You got 5 right
Jeff
on that.
Jenkins one
Jeff
was pretty
Jenkins
impressive.
off the top of his noggin. I should have went.
with your gut.
Oh well.
Jeff.
Oh well. Jeff got me. Way to go.
Oh yeah. G off.
G off. The old G off got me, huh? All right. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. So yeah, we'll talk to Joseph on Monday. What is the right balance of youth and veteran leadership when it comes to building a roster? I don't know if there's a perfect answer for that, but I don't know if the Cardinals have it either. That's next on 101 ESPN. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Nolan Arenado earlier this week talked about how motivating it was to play alongside Mason Wynn. He said, to be honest, playing with him makes me want to step up my fielding. He goes hard for everything. Not that I don't, but after last year, the way I fielded, I see him getting after it. And I'm like, yeah, man, I need to get back to that. He brings energy. Watch him. He's constantly talking to the pitcher. Let's go. You got this guy, nasty pitch. I'm like, man, I used to do that when I was a young player with the Rockies. I kind of slowly got away from it. Now I'm like super quiet. He's constant energy, Arenado said. You feed off of it. Some teams might think he's talking trash, but he's really just talking to the pitcher all the time. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, some youthful exuberance, and Nolan Arenado is kind of feeding off of that. He's also the same guy. It's kind of ironic. Yeah. Also the same guy in the offseason. He was like, yeah, our team's full of young dudes.
Get some older guys in this locker room.
Let's get some older guys up in here. I think that when it comes to building a successful roster, Carey, you do have to strike a balance between youth and veteran experience.
Yeah.
It's not unlike any sport, for that matter. I think the teams that builds through their drafts, and they have got a foundation of 4 or 5 guys, and then they start to add some pieces, some veteran guys that have been there or done that before. I think that's the best way to go about it. Best way to win.
I agree. Having younger players, especially the older you get, it keeps you young. Like I'm sure seeing Mason Wynn play in that style and talk, he said it reminds him of him, and maybe wondering, well, when did I lose that? When did it become – because we always say you're playing a kid's game for a king's ransom. If you're a professional athlete, that's what you're doing. You're getting paid a ton of money to play a game you would probably be playing for free. And so you're thankful for the opportunity, but – it can get to a point where it becomes more of a business and it's not as fun, or you lose the excitement. And that's what younger players bring. They don't know anything. Yep. They're just happy to be there. And it reminds you of when you were just happy to be there. Now with that, hopefully, comes winning. But sometimes losing can take that out of you. If you lose a lot or don't have the team success, the individual success Nolan Arenado has had plenty of, but the team success, winning championships, sometimes you can lose that part of your game, that part of yourself on the field and in that regard. So I hope that that's bringing it back for him. And you having younger players, it keeps older players around a little bit longer because they do a little something for you.
I just find that comment to be weird given what we heard before the season started.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that things can't change. I found it interesting.
Yeah, things change, Mox. You're the starting quarterback now. I feel you. No, you know what? And I'm gonna open myself up for criticism here, which is completely fine. But I don't think this is unlike other professions that when you're young and you're not making a ton of money, and maybe you had been working to, like Marsh, you've been working your rear end off to get a full-time job, right? For me, not only a full-time job in radio, but eventually a full-time job on air, and you get that, and you're so hungry, and you're ready, you can't wait to get to the studio because you have so much to say, and you've got fresh ideas and all that, and you kind of, that rubs off. And then the longer you do it, well, other things come with it. More pressure, a job, life changes. Life changes, kids, marriage, all that stuff. And then the expectations change. With that also comes the criticism, and also trying to invent new ways to motivate yourself and all that stuff. I'm not saying I'm not motivated with it, but I'm much different now as a host than I was 10 years ago.
Right.
Hopefully I'm more polished and all that, although it doesn't seem that way when I forget names. But, 10 years ago, I was like, I got all these ideas. Here we go. I think they should do this, that, and the other thing. This is why I think it's important to reinvent yourself no matter what you're doing. And maybe Nolan Arenado is figuring that out right now. Carey, I thought you brought up a really good point. When did I used to be like Mason Wynn? When I'm talking to when did that change? Well, it probably changed when you started making buku bucks and the expectations went through the roof. Then you were upset because of your situation in Colorado.
Right.
You thought that you were going to be playing for a team that was going to be an actual contender. You signed a big deal. Then you want out. Then you go to St. Louis. Expectations rise again because you're going to play for a contender. Now you're not having that success. Who's having fun?
Yeah, and nobody. When I think the expectations begin to change times when you come in as a rookie, as a young player, you think you're going to win a championship every single year. Like, I will never forget Aaron Beasley, who used to play with us with the Falcons. I think he was a 10, 12-year vet, and we made it to the NFC Championship game, or it was the NFC Championship game, I believe.
The Eagles.
And he was
04, right?
Yeah, he was saying to us, don't take this moment for granted. That was his first playoff run, and you're a young player. I was a rookie. Don't take this for granted.
Right.
This may not ever happen again. Look at me. And so I think when you're a younger player, you honestly think you're going to play every single year in the playoffs. Every single year, you're going to be vying for a championship or a title run. And then you're 6 years in, you're like, I haven't even sniffed the playoffs. I haven't even had success, and dang sure it haven't made it to an LCS. And then you start to lose some of that. And then you said maybe you get reinvigorated when you come to St. Louis, but you're still haven't made that championship run. So that's probably the best thing for him, having a young player playing right next to him that has that energy, that has that enthusiasm, and it can rub off on him. And hopefully, the team becomes better because of all of that.
Yeah, I think it's well said. Again, if you're Nolan Arenado, at some point you do have to kind of reinvent yourself. And I'm not saying you have to reinvent your swing or reinvent the way you play, but instead of going back and saying, well, I used to be like that. Well, yeah, you used to be like that because your situation was way different. Now, how do you motivate yourself when you've been in the league a long time and you want to, you still know what it takes to even get to the field, to have success on it. How do you reinvent yourself so that you're engaged? And it's not about passion as much as it's about purpose. What's my purpose on this team? And even for a guy that's making, $200 and some odd million, you still have to kind of figure out, all right, what's my purpose here? Am I a leader? No? Okay. Well, who am I then within this? And I don't think that's something that the team can tell you. I think that's something you have to figure out yourself.
I agree.
We got a question from the 314. Is he kind of a whiny head case? Does that have any legs to it?
I think so.
I think he's very intense.
I don't have a problem. See, I think people have a problem with certain players having certain personalities. Some players are weird, and I'm not saying that he is, but some guys, I told you, some guys do not care. They are so laser focused on one thing. It is a gift and a curse. They can't see outside of this. They don't care to take the blinders down and see anything else. They are locked into what they are locked into. And with that comes a certain personality where you may not be as friendly or as open or as polite or willing to just give parts of yourself to other people that you have no clue. You don't know them. And so can you play ball? Are you good? Are you doing your job every single day? That's the one thing that matters to me. Obviously, what you do off the field, not being a jerk or being an idiot or doing things outside of work that can cause, issues. But when you're a great player, oftentimes those people are literally have blinders on and don't see, not literally, but they have blinders on. They don't see anything else going on around them, and they don't care. And that's part of why they are so great, because they are so dialed into that one specific task that there's no room for anything else. So if you're not having success and that's all you're dialed into, you're going to be pissed off. You're going to be frustrated.
I think
and
that fits Arenado.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's going to come off as that. You're not going to be friendly. You're going to be a little bit disgruntled and, you're carrying that around with you because you're so singularly focused on that one thing that you're great at. And right now, you're not having the success that you're accustomed to.
Yeah, no doubt. I think you just described Arenado. I think he's very intense. I think he's not a selfish player. He wants to win. He wants to succeed. He wants all that. But if you're struggling or you're not meeting your own expectations, they use the texter used the word head case. Yeah, maybe, but maybe I don't necessarily think head case carries negative connotations to it. I think you get domed up. You're just all, like you said, singular focused. Where like all I can think about now is my play.
Right.
Once I get going, then the team can get going.
Yeah.
It's got to be tough. I was never a professional athlete. Carey, you were.
But that's the thing that makes them great, because they are that way. And when they are dialed in, it is amazing. It's just the part when they're struggling, everybody's struggling.
Everybody feels it.
Everybody's feeling it.
And I wonder if having more young players in the clubhouse instead of like, oh, we need veteran presence to keep everybody together when the team's not doing well. I wonder if having young guys in the club to keep everyone loose, knowing like, hey, well, man, if we're going to suck, let me at least just kind of change some stuff up and go up there and just be a little bit more loose up there because then that pressure comes off of me.
Yeah.
I don't think so, though, because when you are that player, the pressure is always present. Like, when you have those expectations, it weighs on you. Like, it does. It's like everyone is looking to you to make a play.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're going to be terrible regardless, I'm talking about the team. If you're going to be not good, why not just switch something up, see if it works? If it doesn't, well, then let's dial it back in a little bit. But either way, what I'm doing right now is not working. Let me try and change something, maybe not from a mechanical standpoint, but just for like going up there and not feeling so tense.
It's easier said than done because you've been doing it one way for your entire time, and it's worked.
Plus, you don't want to get lost.
Yeah, so it's like I'm not able to turn that mechanism off that has allowed me to be this way for 10, 15 years. It's maddening. Like it is a gift and a curse.
You got to clear the mechanism.
You got to clear the mechanism, absolutely. You also too. You know what's tough about that? You know, Marsh, you bring up a good point. You talk about how it is. You know, why don't you try something new? You better have the utmost confidence. To change up because other people will notice. And you can say, I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to do this. People are going to say, hey, you've never done that before. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm trying something.
I'm trying something new. But that's what I'm saying. You have to have confidence in yourself. Say, hey, man, I'm hitting 200. Yeah. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm changing myself.
I'm changing it up. I'm feeling a little bit more relaxed out there and playing more loose because, man, if we're going to stink – at least let me have some fun.
Right.
Like, let me have some fun with
I can tell you there's no fun when you're stinking. There's
but I'm saying
nothing.
Just stink.
You're
just
already stinking. So, like, what you're doing is not working.
It's like a dark cloud over you everywhere you go.
Change it up,
baby. We need some sunshine and lollipops.
And rainbows. The Cardinals gonna beat the White Sox because they're trash.
Yeah, they are.
If they don't, it'll be bad.
Sports Six Pack is nice. If you got a question for us, 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service text line. Send in your questions. Sports Six Pack next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals back in action tonight, taking on the Chicago White Sox. Sonny Gray takes the mound, going up against Brad Keller. First pitch is at 7:15. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Coming up next, we have our Sports Six-Pack. So if you have a question you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Here's Andrew Marsh with your questions via the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646.
Question number one.
All right, this one comes from Grant Francis Fan Club. Is the Leafs-Bruins Game 7 a losing coach gets fired game? Has that ever happened before where both coaches' jobs likely depends on the same game?
Wow. That's a really fascinating question. I don't know. I'm sure there is a there's got to be examples of that, but maybe not to this degree. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a tough. We were walking out yesterday, and I said, I think the Maple Leafs win that game. Mm-hmm. I did not like the way that the Bruins performed and started in that. What was it, game five?
Well, how about last night? They had one shot in one period.
Toronto was up 11-1 in terms of shots on goal.
Not good enough.
And really, I didn't think Toronto was playing well. I just thought they were outperforming Boston, who looked asleep at the wheel. And then finally, the Maple Leafs were able to break through. But they got an early-ish power play, the Maple Leafs did, and really didn't do much with it. They kind of kept chasing the puck down the ice. But yeah, really slow start in Boston on Tuesday night, and then a really slow start last night. So I love Jim Montgomery. I hope the Blues do consider him if he does become available. But there's really no shaking the fact that his team has not looked ready to go in the last two games.
Well, and I would
credit
say
Toronto and the young kid
last season as well in the playoffs. I mean, the first round, you were the President's Cup winner, and you didn't make it out of the first round. I mean,
granted, that was Florida, right? So
it was Florida,
tough,
but still, you were the best team. And again, you're the higher seed here. You can't lose. Mm-hmm. But you, Marshall, you and Jamie have talked about this. The switching going back between goalies is. They
did stop it.
Did they stop? Who's starting?
Swayman's
and he's been good.
Who's starting Game 7? Is it Swayman or is it?
I'm assuming it's going to be Jeremy Swayman.
It has to. It's not like he's given up 6 goals.
He's been very good for them. But Jason Woll, the local product, has been better.
I wonder if that is just what that does to the team when you kind of swap back and forth between goalies in a crucial playoff series, because they did it last year for Game 7, correct? Switch the goalies and you end up losing. Sometimes your gut can be wrong.
What I find fascinating is that the Maple Leafs are doing this without Austin Matthews.
Yeah,
what does that say about him?
Game 7.
Or does that say anything about him?
Well, I think it says everything about his teammates right now.
Better team.
You just told a story to us in the break about a certain game that you played at Illinois, where you're looking around the huddle and say, "Hey, man, somebody's got to step up," and then you said, "All right, I got to step up.
I got to make a play.
I got to make a play." So Toronto, collectively, to their credit, they've said somebody's got to make a play, and they have.
Yeah.
But Woll has been excellent. What did you have last night for board?
Well, I had Joseph Woll over 25.5 saves, which I believe he would have made if Boston could actually shoot the puck on net. Right. So that kind of stunk.
Yeah.
But the way he was playing, I totally think he would have got it.
You and I both got wins then, didn't we?
Darn right we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an easy one.
Oh, easy.
For both of us.
That was a good game. That was
a really good game.
Because the Knicks were up early, and then the 76ers came back.
Yeah. When they were up 22, I'm like, this is terrible for Philly. This is a terrible look. But then Philly stormed back. They had a lead at halftime. And then the Sixers do what they always do in the fourth quarter.
What's that?
Struggle.
Okay.
Credit the Knicks, though. I don't want to take anything away from them.
Brunson is, he's balling.
So is the kid from UConn. I call him the kid. He's been in the league for a while.
Which one? Dante DiVincenzo.
Yes.
He
went to
from
UConn?
He's from
Where did he go?
No, he went to Villanova.
Oh, Villanova. I'm sorry.
Yes.
All of them went to Villanova. They got
That's
like three guys from Villanova on their team.
Jalen
I was picturing the blue. It's my fault.
One thing that was cool about Jalen Brunson is that I guess he like made a basket or whatever, and then he like pointed up at the Villanova national championship banner.
Really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
So,
was he on that team that hit the three at the end?
I don't think he was
to
on
beat
that
North
team.
Carolina.
Was he on that team? I don't remember. They won two in.
I don't think they repeated.
They won 2 out of 3 years, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
But he might have been on the second one.
He was on one of those teams.
He was on the second team, not the first one.
Well, yeah, that would have been embarrassing if he was pointing at the banner. He wasn't on the team.
That'd be rough.
Well, no, you give love. Hey, anything Illinois, I don't care what year it is.
Right.
All right. Ray Nitschke, Dick Buckus, Hall of Famers. Not have had one in a while, but I always got those guys. The hell you talking about?
Don't blank yourself, San Diego.
Question number 2.
From the 217, growing up, the White Sox were my second favorite team behind the Cardinals. Is it blasphemy to wear a White Sox cap with my Cardinals jersey?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think so. You can't be going to the park like that.
I think it's if it's a second favorite team.
I mean,
it's your second favorite
and it's
team.
a 217 number. That's an Illinois number. So that person may have grown up in the state of Illinois. That's Champaign, Muhammad area. Like that. They possibly could have grown up in that area.
National League, American League.
There you go. You got 2 teams you're rooting for.
You got to choose one tonight.
Chicago is about the same amount of distance, maybe a little bit closer than St. Louis is from that area of the country.
Anthony, you have like 5 favorite teams.
Yeah, you grew up in 4 different cities.
Only one of those is true, and it's Carey's point. I'm not the one with 5 different teams. That's Jamie. Jamie's got 5 different teams.
You got how many hockey teams you got? You got the Sharks,
I got one.
the Blues.
I got the Blues.
And the Sharks.
I don't root for the Sharks.
You got the Giants and the Cardinals.
Okay, my favorite team when I was a kid, yes, was the Giants because I loved Will Clark.
I did too.
But I am all in on the Cardinals.
All right. Football.
I watched their games.
You got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Falcons.
No, I was a Chiefs fan for 2 weeks. My team is the beautiful crap Falcons.
Beautifully crafted Falcons.
Oh, beautifully crafted Falcons.
There you go.
I think I got 2 things here. One, I'm sorry because both of your favorite teams are terrible at the moment. This texter.
Oh, the texter. I'm telling you, I'm not a Sharks fan.
That is also true.
Yes, of course.
And a Falcons fan.
Second thing,
I root for the Cardinals. I root hard for the Cardinals.
We all do.
I want
It may not sound like it at times.
Like
We're honest though.
Don't you guys feel it? Like when you come in here and the listeners are ticked off because the Cardinals are losing and all that, then they take it out on us. That doesn't feel good. And then we got to take it out on the team. I want the Cardinals to do well. Marsh, go ahead. You said 2 things here.
Yeah, my second thing is whatever team's winning. I know this is kind of a shortcut.
Is that that's who you root for?
Yeah, I would just, if the Cardinals are losing, take the Cardinals jersey off, get the White Sox hat on. If the White Sox are losing, just take the hat off. I know it's a cheap way.
Actually,
it's a cheap way to go about things.
It's not wrong.
No, he's wrong.
Nah.
He's very wrong.
If you got 2 teams.
You're at Busch Stadium.
And they're playing each
Your number
other.
1 team is the Cardinals. So support your Cardinals. Or if you want to support the 6-win White Sox, go for it.
If you are a Cardinals and a Sox fan and the Sox are that bad and they start losing or start winning versus the Cardinals, you become a Sox fan.
I do like the Sox uniforms.
Man, that black and white is great. So I was a Frank Thomas fan growing up.
The black hat, black jersey, white with black pinstripes.
Yeah.
Come on. Not the gray. It's fine, but you got to go white, black pinstripes, black shirt. That's a good look.
I wasn't really a fan of the red.
Me either. And I wasn't a fan of that logo. The little baseball logo. The Carlton Fisk logo. Yeah. Got to go with the Frank Thomas.
Yeah. Big hurt.
Question number 3.
All right, this one comes from Tanisha in the Snake Pit. Which was the better movie, Rocky, The Terminator, or Die Hard?
Oh, okay. Let's take Die Hard out because
I'm a big
as much
Die
as I
Hard
love
fan.
it, I love it. But Terminator, Rocky one. Which can she specify which Rocky?
I think it's just Rocky.
Because Rocky 4 is the greatest of all time.
I think T2 is better than Terminator.
Oh, you hush your mouth.
Terminator's good,
Have you seen this boy? T2 was great.
It was great.
I'm saying Terminator 2.
But that's not. Well, I'm saying Rocky 4. She didn't say.
That's not the question.
That's not the question, Anthony.
Fine.
I'm
Die
going with
Hard.
the Terminator.
Well, I'm gonna go with Rocky. So we all got different
There you go.
opinions.
I love Die Hard.
I do too. Which is a Christmas movie for those who are asking.
We need to stop.
No, it's a Christmas movie. They got Christmas
it's a
music
movie
playing.
that happens during Christmas.
They have Christmas music playing. There's a Christmas tree. It's a Christmas movie.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's an action. It's an action
That's
movie.
like saying Grown Ups is a 4th of July movie.
Yeah.
Not quite. Nah.
Or Memorial Day or whatever.
It's like saying Mighty Ducks is a hockey movie. It's a coming of age movie.
Wow, Anthony, you just ruined our argument.
It's like saying Mighty Ducks is not the greatest movie of all time, you know?
Man, I saw something with Mighty Ducks the other day. I meant to send it to you guys.
You did about the Gordon Bombay.
Oh, I did end up sending it. Okay, great.
Where the guys were discussing how great he would have been. Like he
His
was
life changed
scoring
at 10 years old.
Yeah, and he was scoring at such a high rate, and like, why didn't anybody get rid of the coach and just keep Gordon Bombay happy?
Someone was like, "Why is this guy a full-time 10-year-old coach? Doesn't even have a child on the team.
Doesn't have a child on the team. Bombay's averaging 9 goals per game, and this is the guy that ruins Bombay." Yeah, that's a good question.
And you know what, though? He ended up getting his revenge.
He certainly did. He certainly did. All right, we'll continue our Sports Six Pack next on 101 ESPN. If you're looking for your next new home, you know that's a large investment, probably the largest investment you're ever going to make financially. Why don't you go with somebody that's going to help you get to the closing line quickly when it comes to your loan and also save you a ton of money up front? That's our guy, Stewie. Jamie, and I use him consistently with anything, whether it's getting a loan, getting loan advice, getting advice when it comes to, where the rates are headed or any information when it comes to the Federal Reserve. Stewie's on top of all that. He's the lifeline. He's the expert. He's great. And he's got the Bagel Loan program. So if you're purchasing if you're trying to get a loan, you're purchasing a home, and you're borrowing $200,000 or more, you're going to qualify for the Bagel Loan, which means no closing cost, no lender fees. Call around. There's nobody out there that's going to be willing to do that, but Stewie does. In fact, I've done this before where I've called lenders like, hey, I know there's some programs out there, no lender fees, no closing costs. I'll laugh at you. Not with Stewie. Stewie's fantastic. Give him a ring. He'll get you to the closing line with a lot of times within 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks. He wants to help you and save you money over the long term, over the long haul. 314-324-4440. Again, 314-324-4440 is Stewie's line. Give him a call. Give him a text. It's his personal cell phone number, so you can text him. Or Google the Bagel Loan. You get the number right there.
NMLS number 226715.
Get in your comfort zone this spring with a cooling system check from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Keep your system operating at peak efficiency, prevent repairs, and extend the life of your equipment. Schedule your system check at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
You are listening to The Fast Lane, broadcasting live from the Car Shield studio.
I have a question.
It's time for The Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
All right, we continue our Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. Go ahead, Marsh.
Question number 4.
All right, this one comes from the 314. Hey, do you guys think the reason the Cardinals get so many older players is to take pressure off of Ollie because they know he's not a good manager?
I don't think that's has anything to do with it. What older player? I mean, hey, guess you. Albert Pujols was an older player, but he was much needed. Matt Carpenter was brought back because they told us that they needed some veteran presence in the clubhouse. What other older players?
Crawford.
You got to have a shortstop for when you rest Mason Wynn.
Oh, boy.
Right?
I think that Mo added Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson and Matt Carpenter and Brandon Crawford because he, and this is me guessing, or me reading between the lines. He wasn't thrilled with the leadership in the clubhouse last year. You had great leadership 2 years ago when you had Albert and Yachty in his final year and Wainwright. So last year, I think looking at it and the way things went sideways quickly, I think Mo decided to add guys that have been in the league for a while, not to necessarily help Ollie, although it certainly helps, but to add, again, veteran leadership within that clubhouse. So if things started to go sideways again, you had somebody to lean on. I'm not saying it was the right way, but I don't think it was for Ollie, is what I'm saying. I don't think Mo. Because here's the question.
Get bothered again.
Why would Mo do that and then turn around and hand him a contract extension?
Yeah, I agree. But why do you need to go outside to find leadership?
You shouldn't.
I mean, you got two guys they were 35 and how old is Nolan Arenado last year? How old is he?
32, I think.
Why do you have to go outside to find leadership?
Just because you're a good player and you make a lot of money doesn't mean you're a good leader.
That's it. Okay.
It should be that way, but you got to eliminate should.
Miles Michael is not a leader?
I don't know.
Wilson Contreras, last year, they didn't allow it to be.
I don't know.
Okay.
Why else? Why? So do you fall more into the camp of what the text you're saying, and that?
No, I don't think it's a knock on Ollie. Again, so when you have a team, right? I'll just speak on the teams that I played on. The damn coach ain't around all day. Like, the coaches where we were go upstairs to their offices. That's where all the position offices were, upstairs. Players' locker room, downstairs. We are in the locker room with one another. We are in the film room. Well, not the film room. We're in the weight room with one another. We're in the lunch room with one another. We are in the players' lounge with one another. That's where the leadership takes place. The coach's interaction with the players is not nearly as much as it is with the players amongst each other. Mm-hmm. At least in football. I can only speak to the sport that I played. And I would assume that it's the same way in baseball. You aren't sitting, for the most part, when you're traveling, you aren't sitting next to your coaches. You're sitting back there with the players, playing cards, watching a movie, talking. When you're at the hotel, you're not with the coaches for 8 hours of the day. You're going out to dinner with the teammates, watching movies, hanging out, playing cards. Like, you're with each other more than you are. So it's not on the coach. It's not Little League. They're not micromanaged for, 20 hours of a 24-hour day when they're on the road. No, you are amongst each other. Find out who likes each other and how you can be better. What's his wife's name? What do his kids do? Are you hanging out? Are you all going to each other's houses? Like, that's leadership. Mm-hmm. You're inviting them over to your house for dinner. New guy in town. Hey, Wilson. Hey, nice to meet you, brother. I'm having dinner at the house. Bring your wife, bring your kids. We'll catch up. We'll get to know one. That's leadership. What the hell, man?
I know, I'm with you. Why did you have to bring that in? I'm with you. I got you. This is the result.
I'm not just saying leadership is on the field, play better. Leadership is... You're the new guy in town. Hey, let's go grab some food and
you gotta galvanize
have
the team.
A beer.
Then do it naturally.
Question number 5.
From the 573, what's your favorite MLB stadium and where do you think Busch ranks on the list? Also, shout out to the wife for letting me control the radio while we make our way to a weekend getaway.
Oh, no.
Try not to blow it, fellas.
Thank you to the wife for allowing hubby to listen as
we appreciate
travel.
that. Absolutely. And hopefully you're enjoying it too.
Yeah. Shout out to you. We didn't get your name.
Right.
Yeah. But you are amazing.
No doubt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Best MLB stadium.
You got to go with go ahead.
I do like Busch Stadium. I think the view is awesome. I think it's super clean. It's got, great atmosphere. Obviously, the home opener is incredible. I think Busch Stadium. I do like Busch Stadium a lot.
I was going to say, I think it needs renovations.
Oh, come on!
You know who you should pay for that? You.
Yeah.
The historic ballparks. I've only been to Wrigley, and it's old.
Come on, man!
Peeing into
you don't
a
want the trough. You don't enjoy
next to everybody.
The camaraderie associated with that.
Not really.
We're all here.
No,
we're all here.
No. I appreciate what it is, right? But
are we talking like environment or just the park in general?
I think probably just the park in general.
Okay, so
I've never been to PNC. I hear PNC is incredible.
There you go. Beautiful.
I've been to Oracle. Oracle's awesome.
I think that's another one. I've never actually I have been there. It is. I think just the it's right off the water. Like you can hit one in the McCovey Cove.
It's really unique.
Like that to me is like people got to be trying to hit it, like splash one in the water.
And you can go and you can watch the game through the gates.
Yes.
Under the bricks out there.
I think Wrigley Field is up there as well. I've never been to Fenway Park. I would love to.
I went to the old Yankee Stadium. I haven't been to the new one.
Okay.
But the old Yankee Stadium is just.
I haven't been there either.
It's just historic.
But yeah, for me, PNC Park is up there. Just it's beautiful. Like now they're not gonna win many games there.
Right.
But it is beautiful. They got a restaurant you can watch the game in. Like it's very nice.
Comerica's cool, but I don't think it's like
your hometown, Detroit.
It's unbelievable.
Detroit basketball.
Detroit.
I just had a massive deja vu moment. I feel like I've asked this question before, or at least you've talked about Yankee Stadium and not being at the old Yankee Stadium, while I was also in the process of texting our Beat the Streak contestant, I feel like I've had a deja vu moment just happen. So,
okay.
Question number 6.
What is the biggest deja vu moment you guys have ever had?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
I have no idea.
I don't know, but they say when you have deja vu, that means you're right where you're supposed to be. Have you ever heard that?
No. That makes me feel good.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Like when you have a deja vu moment, it's like you're on track.
I heard
that might just be somebody
messing
that is
with
very optimistic and telling you what you want to hear.
Do you think it happened in a different
I think
universe?
It's a different universe.
What?
And the two universes converged
Well, you
at
know
the
that
same
from
time.
watching Doctor Strange.
Absolutely. I think
we
Anthony
do
in the
need
other universe is now trying to converse with this one.
Yeah.
But didn't we learn that messes things up when you go back? Doesn't it change things and alter things in the alternate universe?
Massive ramifications, especially when a witch is after you.
You can have incursions happen.
Yeah. I don't think you should. I think you should take a break from the Marvel series and take a pause, and just don't watch. Take a weekend off.
I had taken a while.
You did take
after Endgame. I needed it.
Have you watched Dynasty? Have you finished it?
I haven't finished it. No, but I'm almost finished.
We are literally waiting on you.
Okay, well, you know what? There's an episode coming up that, quite frankly, I don't want to watch.
What?
I know which one
I know
it is.
it's coming.
I know.
There's going to be a big breakdown, and everybody's going to say,
You're going to have to power through that. You're going to have to power through it so we can discuss it. Because we are all waiting on you at this point.
Well, I can discuss
Marvel
most
movies
of it.
Have taken precedence for too long, and while I appreciate you taking the time to go through it in chronological order, I need you to watch Dynasty so we can discuss this and get your thoughts. We have been waiting. I want to say for about 2 weeks.
Too long, actually.
Too long, and it's all because of the Atlanta Falcons and the guy named Dan, the white coach that I couldn't remember yesterday.
Why does he have to be? Why does he have to be white? Because he is.
Anthony's going to come back on Monday with like a Mandela effect type thing where he's like, well, I don't remember that happening.
Yeah.
My version was that they won that game.
Yeah. Correct.
Much like everybody else in Atlanta thought they won that game after the second quarter was over and
turned it off.
You gotta play whole 4 quarters. Teach that to my kids all the time.
I know.
And you gotta play a whole 9 innings too.
You gotta play a whole
Hard
9
9.
innings. A hard
9.
Hopefully we get that tonight.
Oh yeah.
We got more mic drops on Turner Ward and the comments that he made, and we kind of talked about, hey, look, if you don't want to take a step back and have any kind of new perspective on it, then you're going to be set in your ways on this. And Turner Ward, you're going to just feel like Turner Ward needs to go. I get it. I understand. You're frustrated by the offense. Your offense stinks. Somebody's got to be held accountable for it. However, some comments that he made, I thought, opened up the discussion for what's going on and how much should be blamed for the players. You left us some mic drops on this. We'll get to that next on 101 ESPN. Stalter back with you for Mosby Building Arts. They got a Google review one time that I wanted to read because this really kind of encapsulates what Mosby's all about. This Google review said, while my kitchen update was not a significant project by any means, the team at Mosby treated it as so. Their attention to customer, most notably their immaculate cleaning process, shouldn't go unnoticed. I will consider Mosby for additional home improvement projects in the future. There's no doubt about that. You can trust Mosby to get the job done right. You're going to work with the designer, whether you're designing a kitchen or a bathroom or a basement. There's no project too big or too small for Mosby, but you're going to work with that designer, and they're going to help pull everything together to make that that area in your home beautiful. Expert craftsmanship, 10-year workmanship warranty, and Mosby builds everything to code. They pull permits, they order every item, they set a work schedule, and then they bring your bathroom or your kitchen or your basement designed to life. And Mosby crews, as this Google review noted, they keep the work site clean. They take the utmost care with safe and enduring construction techniques, and they craft a bathroom, kitchen, basement that you can be proud of. So give them a call at 314-909-1800. Tell them Stalter sent you. You can also visit them at callmosby.com, but give them a call for any remodeling project because Mosby Building Arts, they're the right remodeling company. In the show today, Marsh had made a comment about how this team is underperforming, and I asked a very stupid question to some, which is whether or not the Cardinals are underperforming. I think a lot of people, and we got one mic drop on it, were like, yeah, Captain Obvious, of course they're underperforming. Okay, but that also means that your expectations had to be somewhat high. No? Somewhat high. Higher than what the team has provided you. But yet all offseason, we're all, bitching and moaning about everything. So that's where my question came from, Carey. Do I deserve criticism? Absolutely. Do I deserve heat?
Question.
Yes. Maybe a punch in the face? Sure.
That might be too far.
But that's where I stem from.
Okay.
All right, that's what I was thinking. If your expectations are high, then yeah, they're underperforming. But if you think, I don't know how much this team really poured into the offseason, then can they be underperforming? I'll hang up and listen.
All right. I think we got a few people that had some comments about it, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
You want to go right to the mic drops?
Yeah, let's hear what
I like that. Here's Steven.
I just think it's important to detach yourself from previous success of this franchise and just look at the last 8 or 9 years, which is a pretty good sample size. They have a certain philosophy, and they use that philosophy to construct their roster and to hire their personnel. And the only thing anyone is judged by in sports is winning. And if you look at the on-field results, winning one 5-game playoff series over that stretch speaks volumes. What it says is that philosophy is no longer working. And if we look at baseball, front offices that had a lot of success and then don't, they never reinvent themselves. Somebody gets fired, people move on. Things usually get worse before they get better. Well, we've been in that stretch for years now because DeWitt just keeps hanging on with Mo and the same philosophy. We've been struggling. We've been missing the playoffs. That may be okay in some other cities, but it doesn't fly here, and it shouldn't, because there are people out there that can help this franchise, and I think it's no accident that Bloom came on as an advisor. All of a sudden, the pitching and defense is moving forward again. So I'm afraid until Mozeliak is gone, and a lot of the people that are gone here, and DeWitt is willing to turn this franchise over to someone else and just admit that they're not going to be able to return to glory. I think you're just going to have what you have now. They spent $365 million on the last 2 years' rosters, and look at us.
Boy, Steven, that was...
you know what?
Yeah, when you throw the numbers out like that does not sound good.
Steven is he's on fire.
Steven, well said.
Not wrong. And I did. He said one series since in 8 years, but I mean in 10 years it's only been 2. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Well, look at the Houston Astros right now. That's a perfect example of a team that has had a ton of success, and they're probably just keeping the tires going, and now they're not having a good year. So I wonder if they're starting to fall into maybe what the Cardinals have been falling into the past few seasons.
And this, too, it reminds me a little bit of the Blues and Doug Armstrong, right? Because you have success, you win, but now it's like, well, do it again. And if you bring back a lot of the same players to just help you win a championship, sometimes you overpay those guys. They're not as productive because they're a little bit older. It winds up being a mistake. We've seen that in baseball. The Phillies went through that. The Giants went through that. But then if you let a guy like Petro walk and you have this domino effect, you're like, you should have brought him back. So it is tough to retool constantly on the fly. But something that Steven said is something that I'm starting to come to terms with too. He had mentioned if you do have that same group, what in the front office, how much do you expect to change? Because Mo has a philosophy. Now he's altered that philosophy over the years.
What is the philosophy?
Well, I think initially it was always develop pitching and go for high floor, low ceiling position players. So guys that will likely get to the big leagues, but probably aren't going to be superstars. But we're going to win on pitching and defense. We're going to build our roster because Busch Stadium, well, fair. It's always been a fair ballpark. I think it leans more toward pitching. Mm-hmm. So I think Mo kind of built it to the ballpark, which a lot of successful GMs and presidents do. They build it to their ballpark, right? So initially, when Mo took over, I think it was pitching and defense. But then the offense became such a burden that he switched the philosophy. And while you now have guys like Jordan Walker and Nolan Gorman and Mason Wynn and Dylan Carlson and Tommy Edman and Brendan Donovan, there's a large void in pitching. So he kind of robbed Peter to pay Paul, and now we don't have that clear philosophy, in my opinion. We don't have that clear philosophy, that clear identity. But Steven brings up an interesting point, too, about Kyle Bloom coming in, and then, there's been more of an emphasis on the bullpen and the pitching and the defense.
So
how much is that Bloom and not Mo? I don't know, but...
Okay. I'm just always intrigued to figure out, to understand what path or direction we're going in. And
I don't know.
Okay. Good answer. Good answer.
I think it was to go back to, again, eventually swing back to pitching, but then the pitching, because of injuries or performance,
pitching
it's left
that is
quite a gap.
Okay. Defense has been very good. Pitching has been as well.
Yeah.
Hitting to come around. Takes time, Anthony, for these things to take place.
Right. Who we got next? Alexei?
Absolutely, this team is underperforming. Now, that doesn't mean they're good, but yes, they are underperforming because Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado should not have a combined 3 home runs on May 3rd. There's just no way. Nolan Arenado needs to be better. We got him to be the guy on this team, and he has not been that guy this season. He needs to wake up. He needs to figure it out. And same with Paul Goldschmidt. Look, I'm tired of he starts slow. Okay? Sure, he might start slow, but he's got to be the guy. These have to be the two guys that lead this team and put them on their back. So until those guys aren't the guys, then yes, this team is going to continue to underperform, and they're going to suck. So Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, wake up. It's Friday, May 3rd. You're playing the worst team in baseball. Go out there and hit some dingers and sweep the Chicago White Sox.
That's what I'm talking
Mic drop has dropped.
Thank you.
Boom. So, Carey, I know you are right in line with Alexei.
Yes.
You're right in line with that. You're talking about the dudes got to be the dudes.
Oh, no question.
And I agree. I also think that the offense overall is lacking. And I don't, well, of course, it's a dumb comment because it's so obvious. But what I mean is
Captain Obvious.
Yeah.
Why is it lacking, though?
Another Captain Obvious moment.
Because of...
But you're not doing anything well. So I don't... Let me clean up my point here. Your offense isn't doing anything well. You're not hitting for power. You're not getting on base. You're not stealing bases when you do get on base. You're not driving runners in when you do get on base. You're not hitting for average. You've done nothing well offensively. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that if two guys start to perform to their career averages, that all of a sudden you're going to have a competent offense. I think there's a bigger problem here.
I disagree.
Well, you know what, Carey?
This is why.
Then you.
We had time? This is why. Because when you're
We'll talk about it next. 101 ESPN. We had a break anyways. It's a Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers off today. So Carey and I were about to have a disagreement about the offense. I do want to read. Marsh, go ahead and read that one text that we just got in because it made us laugh, and it kind of plays in perfectly into our next topic.
Yes, from the 314. Are you high, Tony? If Paul and Nolan Arenado picked up their game and become studs again, you don't think that will matter? Wow. And then also went on to say, maybe I didn't hear you correctly.
Of course it'll matter. Of course it'll matter. If Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt pick up their game, will it have an impact on the offense? Absolutely, yes. What I said, though, was you've got deeper problems than if just two guys turn it around. If you think that those two guys, like if you're of the opinion, and maybe, Carey, this is where you're at, if those two guys pick up their game and everything else kind of falls into place, like everybody picks up their game, well, then we're saying the same thing. What I'm saying is you're dead last in home runs. You're bottom 5 in batting average, slug, on base, WRC plus. You're terrible overall, right? You don't do anything well as an offense.
No.
So what I'm saying is your problems are deeper than just two guys. Again, if you think that Arenado and Goldschmidt will, the rising tide will lift all boats, that's different. So now we're saying the same thing. We're saying that you now have a complete offense again. Mm-hmm. You're nowhere close to having a complete offense, but of course those two guys picking up will help.
So what I was saying when we disagreed, I was essentially saying that when you have superstars and they're playing well, they make life easier for everyone else because now the load isn't so heavy or the expectation isn't as much because, you know what, I got three guys, actually. I got Wilson Contreras, I got Paul Goldschmidt, I got Nolan Arenado, who I know are going to be the big-time players, and in those big-time moments, they don't shrink. They stand up, they stand tall, and they make the play that is required. Mm-hmm. And it makes life easier for Brendan Donovan. It makes life easier for Lars Nootbaar, Nolan Gorman, where him striking out, it's not as glaring because Paul Goldschmidt just drove in 2 runs.
Sure.
Like that's why it's easier when you have your superstars playing at superstar level. Everyone else's mistakes or shortcomings aren't as glaring, aren't as magnified because you know what? If all else fails, Kobe's gonna give me 80. Right? That's I can miss that free throw. Kobe got 81 tonight. Nobody remembers.
Sure.
It's easier on the non-superstars when your superstars are great. Nobody remembers the mistakes as much because those guys are showing up, showing out, and making plays, and it makes life easier.
But you're talking basketball.
But it translates.
Basketball. That's different.
We love the basketball.
When it's baseball,
basketball is my favorite sport. I like how you dribble up and down the court.
I opened the door. Of course, you guys are going to walk through. You're going to finish that.
Can we talk about Mr. Biddleman? Is that his name? That guy was an a-hole.
When it comes to baseball, a guy can go 4 for 4 and you can still lose by 3 runs.
You could. You could, but
you need an offense.
I think everyone, when your best players are playing well, it just takes pressure off of everyone else. Like you're so locked in on what. Think about Albert Pujols.
You're talking more philosophical.
Yes, everybody is. That person or those people are playing at such a high level. They're coming up at big times and making the big time plays and making big time hits that if someone else were to come up later in the game or later on in that inning and not perform to the level, you know what? We just didn't get it because it didn't happen for him at that time. But like again, Nolan Arenado just drove in a couple of runs, so we did pick up a couple of runs. The expectation is not, oh man, we got bases loaded. Nolan Arenado struck out, Paul Goldschmidt struck out, and we're leaning on Lars Nootbaar right now to make a hit.
Yeah.
Now that weight on him is heavier as opposed to Nolan drove in a couple, so now you're up with 1 runner on as opposed to 3 and needing a couple of runs. It just makes life easier for those guys that are not the superstar players. And that doesn't mean that they shouldn't perform in those moments, but it makes life easier for them.
All right, let's go back to the mic drops. Let's hear from Sweet Voice James. Hey, boys. Hey, boys.
They're not working? There we go.
Hey, boys, let's see if I can elaborate a little bit more than what Daniel did. In terms of the Cardinals underperforming or underachieving, yes and no. In terms of pitching and defense, no. I think they have improved greatly from last year. In terms of defense, pitching, we're getting there. It'll be interesting to see if Sim Robersa is the answer to the Steven Matz problem. Offensively, they have underperformed and underachieved greatly. With all the talent that is on this team in terms of power, contact, and speed, this team should be hitting the ball on the ground with your speedsters and trying to beat it out. And in terms of power, there should be lift, separation, and launch angle. There's not. And that's not a problem that is just at the St. Louis level, at the major league level as well. Memphis is struggling with that as well. So JC and Victor Scott hit home runs yesterday in a win, but other than that, they're struggling offensively as well. Boys, have a great weekend.
Same to you, James. Well said.
Put that
Thank you.
seatbelt on.
Yeah, safety first.
Yes.
You might have just got in the car.
That's not good. The whole organization stinks.
Well, he's right.
No, he was talking about the underachieving aspect of the Cardinals stuff, and I love how he said. Let me see if I can expound a little bit more. He's always bringing. Oh no!
I'm just holding.
Well, it could be the last time.
Especially if they get swept.
True.
You know what? Hell with it. This is be the last day if they get swept, all right? Here's what you got to understand about the Cardinals organization. This is a franchise that has been around for years, doing outstanding work, not only on the baseball field, but in the community. They are a staple in the city of St. Louis. You got to understand that about the St. Louis Cardinals. They are well-renowned. Everyone knows about the St. Louis Cardinals. They know that we are the BFIB. You included, Marcy. You all are also BFIB, whether or not you want to admit it. And the vitriol that I feel in this studio day to day from you all, sweet James.
Using big words in this studio.
James, your voice is beautiful, but I don't like all of the things that are said from time to time on the text line and on our mic drops, because what you need to do, and it starts today, folks, it starts today. You get your tails down to Busch Stadium, you cheer on your Redbirds, and you yell loud against the worst team in Major League Baseball, the Chicago White Sox. Should be no problem for us to take care of business today, tomorrow, and Sunday. 3-game sweep for your Redbirds. You're back at 500. You're back making room, making your way in the division. Here we go. St. Louis Cardinals. It starts today. Huh?
Carey, you said you didn't like some of the text messages we've been getting. We got one from the 314. This could change your mind. This text says, I like slam dunks that take me to the hoop. My favorite play is the alley-oop. I like the pick and roll. I like the give and go. It's basketball. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, I love that one.
Well done. All right, I think that's a mic drop in of us. Wait, we still got one more? Let's pay it off. Let's hear from Evan. Let's hear from Evan. Evan will have the last word on this. Go ahead, Evan.
Hey, guys. Honest to God, this Cardinals season has been so frustrating. And for the past couple of seasons, it feels like a slow-moving car crash. We are slowly getting older and slowly getting worse. And I feel like we just need to rip the Band-Aid off and just do a rebuild. We wasted Arenado and Goldie's prime years. We need to get what we can get for him and just start this process. It's going to be a painful 2 years, but at least we don't have to stretch it out to 4 or 5 years. Our core is not as talented as you need to be a World Series contender. We need 2 or 3 really good pieces that are position players to compete. Not to mention, we need starting pitching. There's just so many needs that we have that are mediocre. There's no reason why we should be meddling around for 5 years trying to get this ship back on track.
He said ship. Yeah, ship.
Yes. But he could have said the other word.
Yeah, for sure. Wouldn't fault him for that. No. But yeah, ship was the word Evan used there.
Wouldn't have been bothered at all.
No,
we would have had to drop it.
Yeah, exactly. He would have been right, though, Evan. We do need to get this ship back in order.
Quickly.
All right, we got Beat the Streak. Biggest question of the day coming at you next on 101 ESPN.
Fellas, the 150th Kentucky Derby is around the corner, and FanDuel is the only sportsbook app where you can bet on it. Plus, all customers get a no-sweat Derby bet up to $20. That's right, you'll get $20 back if your Derby horse doesn't win. So, Anthony, I know you got some horses there, so all you have to do is bet the Derby on the same app that you bet on all of your favorite sports, and that is FanDuel.
I got a fast lane horse for us because we like to catch Freedom, right?
Yeah.
Catching Freedom, 8-1. He won the Louisiana Derby.
Let's go.
He's ready to rock. Colt knows what to do.
No.
When his hooves hit the dirt.
Rolling.
Absolutely. If you didn't like that breakdown, though, and you wanted to do your own breakdown on the Kentucky Derby, go for it. But just make sure you're betting at FanDuel. So, bet the Derby on the same app where you bet other favorite sports. It's all on FanDuel. Just download the app or go to FanDuel.com/fast to score that no-sweat Derby bet. Up to $20 for the Kentucky Derby tomorrow. That's right, Saturday. Check it all out at FanDuel. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. Verified FanDuel racing account required. Refund issued is now withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at racing.fanduel.com. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
.101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals take on the White Sox tonight. As Sonny Gray takes the mound, going up against Brad Keller. First pitch is at 7:15. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have Beat the Streak and our biggest question of the day coming up next, so stay tuned. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this SportsCenter update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
I want to hit baseballs.
All of my successes depend on me.
You ready to hit?
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
All right, time to play Beat the Streak here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. We welcome back AJ. What's up, AJ?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Doing pretty good.
Good man. Hope you have a great weekend ahead of you. Marsh, you got the updated standings?
I certainly do, Anthony.
By the way, Gator in the Snake Pit says Marshy's Saliga is so dope.
Yeah, I was thinking about maybe next time, maybe next week, I'll just say, all right, everybody, say it with me. And we all just say it across St. Louis. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Or they could just say it regardless. All right, let's look at the standings here. Anthony, you're off to a good start. 4 is your streak right now.
All right.
Unfortunately for Jamie, Carey, and myself, we did not get a hit.
You all fell down the elevator?
We all fell down the elevator.
You guys got Jack Flaherty'd?
We did.
I think so.
Certainly did.
Well, I picked Carey. I got Kyle Gibson.
Oh. Yeah, he picked Carey Carpenter.
Yeah.
AJ picked Paul Goldschmidt, and he came through in the 9th inning, so AJ is back today, obviously, and he'll go second.
Okay. Normally, I go with an opposing player.
Why?
The White Sox.
Anthony?
Well, because the Cardinals are struggling offensively, Carey. I'll just be honest with you.
Okay.
But
only one team worse?
There's only one team worse, and that's the White Sox. Plus, we got our hero on the mound tonight in Sonny Gray. So I am going to go with the Cardinal.
Okay.
And why don't you go ahead and give me Brendan Donovan for the win. Brendan Donovan is my player. All right, AJ, who do you got?
Ooh, I'm going to take a Lars Zubar today.
You got a Newt. All right.
Who's up, me or you? Or
I am last, actually.
Oh, okay. Give me Nolan Arenado.
Nolan. All right. Jamie is going to go with Nolan Gorman because he took Gorman to hit the home run.
Okay.
So he's going to double dip, which leaves Marshy with.
This one was tough. I hate to go against Sonny Gray. I really do. But
the king has returned.
Oh, he's going to
give me Paul DeYoung,
wow.
baby. I mean, I've already I got a streak of 2 misses in a row.
Might as well
what's
just
the
go
third
with it.
one,
Yeah.
right? We'll just reset over the weekend, or we'll get a hit.
Nice. Well, there you go. All right, so I got Brendan Donovan. AJ took Newt. Carey took Nolan Arenado. Jamie took Nolan Gorman. And you just heard Andrew Marsh. He's going to back former Cardinal Paul DeYoung. AJ, have a great weekend, man. Thanks for playing.
Thank you, guys. You as well.
All right, thank you.
AJ. All right.
Fire it. Fire that pigskin.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, gentlemen, we got a question from the 573. And I thought it was interesting because I sort of feel the same way. We'll see how you guys feel about this. From the 573, as miserable as the last few seasons have gone, am I crazy for preferring this team over the teams from 2016 to 2018, that era? I had zero connection with that squad. That was like the Brandon Moss days.
Yeah, that's tough.
You know?
No, I don't think that's crazy at all. Even though this group is frustrating and they're not producing, I would rather watch young players with high upside.
You didn't like watching Tommy Pham?
Well, you got to throw out Tommy Pham. I mean, it's like Marsh says, the Brandon Moss era.
I didn't think of Brandon. I thought of Tommy Pham.
Brandon Moss had like 20-plus home runs one year. I think it was 28.
He had it all in like 2 weeks, too.
Yeah.
Couldn't get the guy out.
Hey, Steven Piscotty.
Really nice guy.
Thought he was going to be really good.
Really nice guy.
I did think he was going to be really good.
And I really liked Randall Grichuk. Super nice guy.
There you go.
I don't think that both those guys should have been.
I was an Aledmus Diaz fan as well.
Oh, boy.
I was
like I said before, I'd rather watch eventually Jordan Walker figure it out and play. I love watching Mason Wynn play.
Yes.
I'm excited to watch. I would rather watch young, homegrown players. I don't want to see him struggle, but I'd rather see this group try to figure it out than the one that you felt like you had no connection with.
80, what do you say, 16 to 18? That was the years?
Yes.
They didn't lose 91 games in those years.
Okay, Carey. You know what? You lost 91 games last year because your pitching stunk. And your defense stunk. And your offense stunk.
Your team stunk.
Your team stunk.
All right.
We got an interesting text here from another 573 number. Kind of going back to our conversation about Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt. This one's interesting. From the 573, listening to the mic drops, I realized something. Back in back in 2022, Goldie and Arenado were having MVP seasons, but the turning point of that season was right after the All-Star break in Toronto, where Goldie and Arenado couldn't go because of the COVID limitations. It was Albert who put the team on his back. Then everyone fell into step around him. I don't know if that is a correct way to say that. Everyone fell in, Maybe they're future Hall of Famers for their individual stats, but they seem to not be able to put a team on their back like an Albert.
It's a really interesting point. Something I never thought of.
Intriguing.
Not wrong. Yeah, they wanted to.
I didn't think of that either.
Very, very interesting. You're right. Everybody became galvanized because of what Albert was doing down the stretch.
There are, and I say this all the time, there are certain people, certain players that have that thing about them.
Mm-hmm.
And there are certain players that are great players but don't have that.
Right.
I don't know what that is. I don't know how you get that. I don't know if you're born with it, if you grow into it. It's just something. It's one of the hardest and weirdest things. Like you and it's not just related, it's not solely related to sports. You can be in rooms with certain people and you're like, that guy got it or that gal got it. Like It's something about them that stands out as opposed to other people. And it's not that other people aren't great. They're just not as great.
Sure.
And so, maybe that was the turning point for that team. And it took that type of player, that caliber of a player, first ballot Hall of Famer, no questions asked, to be that person. There you go.
Yeah. I think that's a fantastic point. Again, something I hadn't thought of. We talk about Albert's run, but not in relation to what they were what that texture was talking about.
How it
and how Goldschmidt and Arenado, you didn't necessarily factor those two guys in. So, yeah, fascinating point. Fascinating. All right, it's Fascinating on 101 ESPN. We have Bet the Board, 3 stars of the day, criticisms, compliments, and fade or follow.
Chase is coming back. He's here to win $200, all thanks to the Battlehawks.
Yeah. Do we go with the Battlehawks again?
We definitely go with the Battlehawks again.
Well, we don't have to do anything.
No, we
have
should.
to. We should.
Yeah, we have to. Go with the Battlehawks again.
I mean, think about it.
We'll check the odds.
Think about it, though.
We'll check.
Ever since we started
we'll check the spread.
Fade or follow with the Battlehawks, they've been on a roll.
Yeah, and Marcy didn't say it. It's because of us.
You're right.
They listen.
Yep.
You're right. All that next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for FanDuel Fade or Follow on the Fast Lane.
Brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more.
Everyone follow us.
No fade. Money, 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 money.
All right, time for Fade or Follow here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We got Chase, right? Let's do this.
I'm here.
Chase, how you living?
Doing?
How you living these days, man?
God, I'm getting rich off 101 ESPN.
Yeah, you are. And those Battlehawks.
You know what? I got a good laugh in the intro. Marshy, I said, he said I fit right into the show because I couldn't remember any names.
Yeah,
and I made a comment about maybe being the fifth ad if Jamie never comes back, and he said, yeah, they don't know where he's at. I said, well, he's probably wearing a hammock somewhere. And he said, that's nice.
It's possible.
Yeah, it is incredibly possible. Yep. Yeah. In fact, it's more likely than not that he is somewhere wearing a banana hammock. All right, the Battlehawks. We agreed. The guys were. I said we got to check at least the spread, and the guys told me to go blank myself, which I do appreciate.
Yeah, it's a big spread.
It's a big spread. They're minus 11 against the Roughnecks.
They beat the defenders, air quotes, by like 20.
Hey, you know what
25.
though? That doesn't mean that Chase has to follow us. He could fade us too, but we're still. I mean, or we could switch it. We could do a prop play. Like
no, we're gonna do the Battlehawks.
Switching it.
Battlehawks minus 11. Fade or follow, Chase?
Listen, I have as much confidence as Carey does in Lars Newbar's hitting abilities.
Man.
But I'm going to go ahead and I have to stick with my guys. I'm going to go ahead and follow the 101 ESPN crew.
There we go. Yes. Good job. Absolutely. Good man. Well, Chase, let's go Battlehawks. Have a great weekend. And you know what? We'll talk to you next Friday.
Absolutely. See, I don't like it when you say it. I have to say it. I'll talk to you guys next Friday.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's redo this. Okay, take two on that. Take two on that. Chase, hopefully
I'm going to go ahead and follow the fast lane. I'll talk to you guys next Friday.
There you go. All right, done deal. Good man. See you, buddy.
Hey, take care, Jake Marsh.
See you, Chase.
There you go. All right, that's Chase here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Time to bet the board now.
Oh, man, I'm struggling.
No, you're not.
I'm trying to find something. I am.
Oh. I thought you meant because you won last night.
Yeah, I won last night.
Marsh, you have those updated standings?
You know what? I can bet on Saturday.
You could?
Yeah. I'm 1-1. You're 1-1. Marsh is 1-1.
I'm 2-0.
Jamie's 1-1. We're all 1-1.
I'm 2.
We're all
no, actually, you're 2-0.
Son of a. I'm 2-0.
Are you leading?
Yes.
Good job.
It's early, but
it is early. All right.
Yeah, 2-0. All right, so that means I go first, right?
Yep. That's what that means. Haven't been there often.
Oh, man.
Just asking you. Sounded perplexed as to whether or not you go first.
Anthony, you're first.
Keep talking, Carey. Keep talking. Jamie talked a lot of smack the other day, and I made it personal against him.
Oh, I don't want it personal. I'm sorry. Maybe.
I don't just want to beat him this month. I want to bury him.
Yeah.
So I can throw you. I could just beat you, or I could bury you.
You take care of your business.
Choice.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Give me the Dodgers tonight. Dodgers, Gavin Stone taking on the Braves, Charlie Morton. Kind of a heavyweight matchup. Dodgers are 8-2 over their last 10 games. Give me the Dodgers tonight, minus 116.
Man, I got super lucky here. Sonny Gray over 5.5 strikeouts is at minus 148. This guy's been a menace on the mound. I have to go with Sonny Gray over 5.5 strikeouts.
All right, there you go.
All right, I'm going to go for tomorrow's game, the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Denver Nuggets. And I'm going to take the over 207.5.
Okay.
207.5. 208 points gets me the dub.
There you go. 207.5.
Yeah.
All right. Jamie, of course, who loves his hockey.
He's taking the Bruins, isn't he?
Over the weekend? Yeah. He loves the Bruins.
I think so.
He loves the Bruins.
And they have
tomorrow
to win, right?
In Game 7, and they're minus 142, which
they're
fits
at home,
under
correct?
them. Yes.
Yeah,
However, he does love his Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, but he loves the Bruins more.
He loves Boston. He loves the Bruins.
Yeah. He's a Jim Montgomery guy. He's been talking highly about him.
Make a solid point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's to me, it's disgusting, all of it. But that's Jamie's life choices, and who am I to judge? So Bruins minus 142 for Jamie tomorrow night. So there's bet the board. Now, time for some criticisms and some compliments.
From the 636, have a great weekend, guys. Great show. What is on the docket for all of you tonight and just simply this weekend?
Killian's got his first baseball game tomorrow.
Okay.
And then Madeline has her last dance competition tomorrow evening. Okay. Lincoln, I'm sure, will be doing his thing.
Chilling.
Playing his monster trucks and yelling at us for more string cheese. That's kind of Lincoln's thing now. Yeah.
Does he eat anything else?
He eats everything.
Oh, really? He's not picky?
Best eater in the house.
That's awesome.
By far.
My kids were
He loves
picky at a young age.
My other two are now.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm hoping Lincoln doesn't. I hope he stays that way. Yeah. But yeah, he's always yelling for some string cheese.
That's
and if you don't move fast enough, man, he's on you. He gets ticked.
Hey, what's the best way to eat string cheese? Do you rip it off, or do you just like? Some people just eat it.
Eat it whole.
I mean, at least it lasts longer if you go the string route.
Just eat it whole.
Okay. Yeah. I got hate on you. I reserve that more for like beef jerky, but
yeah, you can't peel.
You do you.
Jerky though. Yeah, you're right.
True. Yeah.
Could try.
Oh, and mow the lawn.
Oh man.
And you're going to feel great, though, after mowing the lawn. You'll feel like you probably could mow the lawn even more. Maybe come over to my house and mow the lawn. All because of mentality.
That's right.
Indeed.
And the lawn looks perfect, of course, because of Green Envy.
Indeed.
Yeah.
From the 573, this is a criticism against your St. Louis Cardinals. You know it's bad when you're comparing your team to crappy years, 16 through 18. Sigh.
I think we're in the midst of last year. We'll reserve our thoughts until Flag Day. If this is a crappy year or not.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Flag Day is the day, right, guys?
Flag Day. Oh yeah, definitely Flag Day.
June 14th.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah.
We'll know then.
Yes, we
certainly will.
Great idea.
All right, let's get to our 3 stars of the day. Our third star of the day, we were talking about backlash earlier. St. Louis's own Randy Orton is competing in France this weekend with Kevin Owens. They're going up against the new Bloodline.
Ooh.
So let's go.
Central Hawk.
Randy Orton.
Okay.
I'm a classmate.
All right.
Here we go. Our second star of the day goes to a certain captain, not Captain America, not Captain Insano, but Captain Obvious.
Captain Obvious. Shows up every once in a while.
Yeah, he does.
Gets called out.
Obvious.
He's not as well liked as Captain America.
Who is, though? Honestly.
Very true. Yeah.
By the way, this is from 618 tomorrow. May the 4th be with you. Absolutely.
Same.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Our first star of the day. This guy could make his way into the starting rotation because Steven Matz is on the 15-day IL, and that goes to Carl Gibson.
Carl Gibson. Who called him Carl?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah,
I missed that.
Another picture. Yeah, our team is rounding out, honestly.
When did you call him Carl Gibson?
I think when the contestant was on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I missed that.
Maybe.
Everybody have a great weekend. Hey, happy birthday to our guy Chris Duncan, too, on Sunday, Cinco de Mayo. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you on Monday. See you.